Well, in the words of Greg Arcade, you can fucking come and get it.
Like someone done gone messed up. Gonna be blood, them boys came dressed up. Heard someone's running their mouth. I heard somebody's been spreading around rumors. Figured they'd have hushed up by now, but time's up, ain't no way out. They've been making plenty of noise, but they should've known better to mess around with them boys. You want more? You said it. We got what you want. Come and get it. You want blood? You said it. We got what you want. Come and get it. You're looking to fight. You said it. We got what you want. Come and get it. You want more? You said it. We got what you want. Come and get it. Gone too far, only one way back. These boys are here for payback, so pay up or you best well stay back. What do y'all think you did? Picking a fight with them roughnecks and rednecks? You ask me, you should've just left them all alone, but you didn't. You thought this was a game. Who the hell think you are playing? You want war? We got what you want, come and get it. You want blood? You said it. We got what you want, come and get it. You're looking to fight? You said it. We got what you want, come and get it. You want more? You said it. We got what you want, come and get it. We got what you want, come and get it. Got what you want, come get it.
Everybody's angry, living lies, and you broke, joke, woke folk think you're gonna save the day. You've gone out of your damn mind, kids. Nobody cares about what you say. Oh, please look at me, living through an iPhone TikTok dream. Rate me, date me, grade me, paid me, begging for attention. Boo-hoo, you've gone out of your damn mind, kids. Nobody cares about what you say. Wanna play the victim, wanna be the hero, looking like a miserable, confused weirdo. Think you got it figured out, but everybody else, you don't even know yourself. All your selfies ain't no revolution, they're slowing down our evolution. I suppose I need to apologize, and if I don't, you'll hope and wish I die. Oh, cool, another rule made up by a teenage rebel who loves big tech, big farm, big gov, big laws. Gonna talk about it on the new blog. They've gone out of your damn mind, kid. Nobody cares about what you want. Not true, I'll fact check you. Getting your opinion approved by some desperate, faceless, nameless, brainless intern writer for the fake news. Hey, you're out of your damn mind. Nobody cares about what you say. Think you got a voice, think you got a choice, think you're something special in the corporate white noise. Tweet this, post this, gram this, talk that, swipe left, tap here, tube this, not that. You think that they're on your side, they only share what you decide. You're just part of the corruption that's peddling crap for mass consumption. Oh, geez, you label me, your tolerance is so extreme. Which one do I get to be, a fascist, bigot, or Nazi? You're out of your damn mind, kid, 'cause I don't care about what you think. Oh, my heavy times, everybody's angry, living lies, and you broke, joke, woke folk think you're gonna save the day. You've gone out of your damn mind, kids. Nobody cares about what you say. You've gone out of your damn mind, kids. Nobody cares about what you say. You've gone out of your damn mind. Nobody cares about what you say. Woo! Good evening, everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome to Faith and Liberty number 8. We're going to pull Harris in here really soon. We're going to talk to you guys. Some stuff is going on, you know. We want to talk about the world. We want to talk about elections. We want to talk about PEI in Atlanta, Canada, and the world and everywhere, because it's all kinds of messed up. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I'm gonna shout out your names later when I can actually see them, because I'm too far from the screen right now. But enjoy this tune, and we're gonna pull Harris in right after this one. I was born on a Dublin street where the royal drums do beat, and the loving English feet, they walked all over us. And every single night when me da would come home tight, he'd invite the neighbors over with this chorus. Come out, ye black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lofty lanes of Killeshandra. Come, let us hear you tell how you slandered great Parnell when you thought of him well and truly persecuted. Where are the sneers and jeers that you loudly let us hear when our heroes of 16 were executed? Come out, ye black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lofty lanes of Killeshandra. Come tell us how you slew those brave Arabs 2 by 2. Like the Zulus, they had spears and bows and arrows. How you bravely faced each one with your 16-pounder gun, and you frightened them poor natives to the marrow. Come out, ye black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lofty lanes of Killeshandra. The day is coming fast, and the time is here at last, when each shoe-in will be cast aside before us. And if there be a need, sure my sicklet sing Godspeed with a verse or two of Stephen Behan's chorus. Come out, ye black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lofty lanes of Killeshandra. Thank you guys so much. Come on in, Harris. Let us know what's going on.
Hello, everyone. And I think I did it right. I'm not muted. So, yes, this is 8th show, and I didn't start off muted. This is fantastic. Hello, everyone. I'm Harris. That there, or over there in a minute, will be Chris Burke, and was Chris Burke, and still is Chris Burke, and probably ever will be forever Chris Burke. Thank you so much for that music, my friend. I always love starting with your beautiful tunes, and it's a great way to start. Thank you all for joining us. This is Faith and Liberty number 8, which is crazy enough, and here we are continuing on in this crazy world that we're now or have been living in, and we're going to talk lots about that, so buckle up. We have
I just want to say that I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. I told you so.
That's going to become a thing.
That's the thing.
That's the thing now.
That is the main thing that we're here to tell you at this point. The one we can actually end the show right now.
We're done.
Right here.
That's it.
We're done. See
We
you
did
guys.
it.
Thanks for coming. It was really good.
Good show.
7 minutes in. 7 minutes into number 8.
7
We made
minutes
our
in,
point.
we
So
got it.
see you
Point
guys.
made. Have a good night.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. And no, seriously, thank you guys very much for joining us. You know the drill. If anybody's been here before, hello, welcome back. If you haven't been here before, you probably don't know that we're all chatting on Entropy Stream. So come on over.
Entropy.
Come on
Entropy
over
Stream.
here. You know
Where
if
is
you
it?
wants to.
We got it. entropystream.live
There it
/
is. There it
chriswtburke.
is.
That's where all the cool kids hang out.
Yes, there's some cool
And you will
kids
note,
in
if
there
you
now.
are on YouTube tonight, you'll note that we are still on the backup channel because we are still banned for medical misinformation.
Why is your main channel banned for, Mr. Chris Burke?
Medical misinformation.
Oh boy, this backup channel is not going to last that long.
It's
either,
not going to
in that
last
case.
long either. Hey, Quick Dub and Pepe, all you guys, thanks for hanging out. GDR, who else is in there? We got my mom is in there.
Yes, this is great.
Ammo
We got
C9, no
Colin
Cirques
Farrell.
allowed.
Is this the real Colin Farrell?
The real. It's actually him. He sent me a message today saying, I am the real Colin Farrell, and I will be joining you guys on
I'm sure he's a real person, but I'm just wondering if it's the that would be
the
cool.
one and only. I can't even remember what Colin Farrell was in. I remember he was a good actor, though.
He had moments. I can't think of anything right now either.
I can't either. Obviously, it wasn't that good.
Phone booth.
Well, good
maybe?
evening, sir. We haven't seen each other in a couple of days.
I know
I
it's
guess.
been
When
actually.
were you here? You were here Tuesday, right?
I forgot about that.
Right?
I was thinking the protest on Saturday was the last time I saw you, but no, it was
No.
Tuesday. Hey, yeah.
We had some
It's
hangouts.
been such a crazy last 3 weeks, and this
Yeah.
last week especially, it's been interesting on the old brain here this week and the last
To
couple
say the
weeks. I'm
least,
all
yeah.
off kilter here. And
I mean, when I woke up this morning, I was like, it's Thursday. Wait a minute, what's happening? Like, my whole... Like, it's funny, because when... Not that I was any better with the time or the days while the election was on, but it at least kind of gave me, like, time frames. And now I'm just like, what do I do?
I know. It's, I mean, there's lots to do. Don't get me wrong. And I've actually had a couple of fairly busy days. And even today we were talking and came to like 5 o'clock. It's like, whoa, what are we doing tonight?
Yeah. So,
And,
so, folks, this show is going to be a little more chill than some of our other shows. We have no show notes. We have some
Speaking
ideas that we've talked about. Oh, yes, we did forget.
How do
this,
we
didn't
forget this, my friend?
The most important of them all.
Cheers.
Cheers to
Oh.
you, sir.
And to everyone. If you're out there, I hope you got a drink. You're going to relax with us. We're going to take a breather. We're going to digest what just happened in the last couple days. And we're just going to... We're not getting drunk. Don't get me wrong.
No.
But we're just celebrating what has happened.
Yep.
And celebrating...
A lot of great stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He lost. We lost all
lost.
around. But holy cow, did we gain.
Yeah, we did.
Holy cow, did we gain. And that's, that's much to celebrate. And, 300% increase. I like it.
It's amazing.
Not going to see me complain about that.
No, and we'll get into all that. We're going to go over the results here, and I just want to take a breather,
Just
you
take
know,
some
and
breathers,
take
you know?
a breather.
Say
you
good
know?
evening, all that fun
Yes.
stuff first.
Because, you know, when we started this little journey, this was not about the PPC. It was not about elections.
Nope.
It was not about the party system at all. It was not about
No.
democracy even. It was all about community. It was all
Community.
about
You got
others.
it. Yep.
And that is still my focus.
Yes,
And I'm
sir.
sure it's still your focus. And
Only thing I got
know
to focus on.
exactly, it's all we have. And part of me believes that we might have been distracted for the last 3 weeks, really, in a lot of ways.
Could
but
be, yeah.
but I still see all those beautiful, wonderful positives that we got, and I don't want to go down and thinking, you just went dark.
Yeah, I'm just trying to fix things.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to go down that path because I know there's a lot of beauty and a lot of things that we got to take positive, and there's no reason why we should give up, because this was only one little branch of a.
It was one of those
revolution.
branches. I was thinking about this yesterday because for quite a while, people like us and people in our community have said we don't know that the election is actually going to be able to change anything. We've said that for months and months and months and months and months.
Of course.
But this was kind of like, here's a chance. So why not take a stab at it? Why not put all of our focus and energy into it? Because we don't want the other option. And so instead, let's try it the democratic way and try it through elections, try it through politics. And so that's kind of why we, in our pursuit to find the others and to build the community, this was just kind of like one of those branches that allowed us to grow more, really.
And it certainly did allow us that. It provided us a legitimate way to communicate, even through the censorship and through the attacks and everything. It was a legitimate political system, and my whole life I've been encouraged to be part of democracy and to vote. Unfortunately, it only happens during election time that people say, take part in democracy, when we should be taking part every single day or week or whatever, But I still believe that if we do have a democratic society, then even me, who's that doesn't have a whole lot of faith in that anymore, I still took part. I went out to vote. I had my experiences, and I took part in 3 weeks of the process, really.
Yeah.
And so did you. So
I mean, that was pretty much all that our time has been dedicated to since the election was called. So
I know, and it was a beautiful experience in a lot of ways. It connected me to some of my past when I was deeply involved in politics, and it lit a fire into me in a different way because of it's not just the revolution. We did have a legitimate democratic way to try and make the revolution happen, and it's unfortunate whatever happened along the way there that it went the way it did, but it doesn't change anything from when we started 3 weeks ago, and it doesn't change anything from Sunday. So here we are.
Still pushing forward. Exactly. By the way, guys, if you were here for that intro song before we started up,
and if
have you guys heard this
sucks
tune
to
yet?
be you.
If you missed the song, you got to go to gregarcade.com.
Yeah,
Greg is the guy who did our graphics. He does graphics for a few of the guys here. He did things like this, and he did things like this.
Love it.
But he's actually, like, musician is kind of his main gig. He's always, he's been a musician, country musician. He's out in Manitoba. And so he wrote a song and recorded, just over the last little while and released it to us all. It's called Come and Get It. And it's, my understanding is that it's about our community. It's about, the Plaid Army and the bigots and you want blood, come and get it. It's, I like it. It's a great tune. So go there, gregarcade.com.
It's a really good tune.
As you guys know, I'm not a big country guy. I know I play some country music. It's starting to grow on me as I play more and more of it. But this is a great
getting
tune.
older. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's getting older probably.
No, you.
But yeah, it's a really great tune. Go check it out. He's got a lyric video on there, all that stuff. Greg avoids all of the social media stuff. He's tired of the censorship, so he's not on YouTube. He's not on Twitter. He's not on whatever else there is. I don't even know.
Who cares?
Facebook, any of those things.
He is on Telegram.
Yes, he is, and he is also on gregarcade.com. And so if you go there, you can support him. He doesn't ask for money for his music, but obviously, try to donate if you're able to. Musicians took a really big hit in the last 19 months in regards to our finances, and so get out there and support them when you can, for sure. GregArcade.com.
Good chat for us in the future, maybe.
It would be, actually. I'd love to talk with him.
Yeah, so we'll keep that in mind. I'm trying to keep. Oh, there's so many awesome people
guests.
Out there that I just want to
many.
pick their brains. So
yeah,
many
people,
so many.
and we've got lots of just kind of random people who have said, "Hey, I'd love to come and chat with you guys on your show." That's cool. But then, not to say that there's people that are better than you, but there are people who are better than you. There's we've got people who have been reaching out who locally are doing big things. Hey, I don't mind telling people that they're not.
No,
as good
tell
as
it like
people.
it is, my friend. We got to tell it like it is.
But we've got people locally, whether it's here in the Maritimes or around Canada, that are doing really big things in regards to the censorship and just everything that's kind of going on. And so we're doing our best to pull those people in here, have conversations with them. We had Max 2 weeks ago on Monday night. Harris, you missed out, man. We had a great time Monday night.
I know. I did watch it after.
I had Transplendor. You guys know him on Twitter as Transplendor. Alex is his name. He's
Awesome
the guy.
ranter.
He's
Awesome.
the guy with the mullet who does the rants. We had, speaking of rants, we had Derek Rants from the Plaid Army, and we had Slip and Lizard from the Plaid Army, and we talked for. I think we're like almost 3 hours, and we just kind of went through election stuff. A lot of people in the chat actually said that it was the exact election stream that they were looking for, because we really didn't talk about the election a whole lot. We just kind of talked about everything else, and then updated on the elections. But yeah, check that out if you're looking for something to watch. The Monday night restream from that, it was a lot of fun. And actually, this weekend, you and I, Harris, are going to be on Slip and Lizard's show on Saturday
possible
night.
that it might just be you, but we'll talk about that.
Oh, that's right. You mentioned that. That's right. But yeah,
Yes, but
one way or
anyway.
another, somebody's going to be on with Slippin' this weekend.
And I want to badly. It's just I forgot about the old other thing that I do in life. But
The old job.
the old job. So I need to. But it's possible that depending on how long you're there, we could work something out. I want to be there. I want to. So we'll talk. But yes, that was an excellent stream, and I didn't get to watch it that night because we were taking part in our own little gathering of PPC people, and we were watching the CBC and yelling at them all night. So I think it was CBC. We turned to Rebel for a bit, but they weren't showing the riding stuff as the same way, and we just wanted to see the PEI stuff, obviously. And we started off in the yay, and it slowly drained off.
The mood of the night just kind of went down as it went on.
Yeah, it's true. But it was, we still had, I'm not taken away from that evening at all. I got to hang out with some wonderful people that night. People that I want to spend a lot more time with. And it was good to have that night. So, and just, we'll talk, I'll get into that a bit more. We're still kind of just warming up here really to our night. And I know we want to focus a lot on the PPC and the election here. So, welcome everyone. Welcome if you're chatting on YouTube or whatever you do tonight. What are you doing? The Twitch.
What do we got? We're on the YouTube backup. We're on the Twitch, and we're on Twitch. Is the only one that hasn't censored us yet, by the way.
Well, okay. So, Twitch. Thank you.
It's really not. I mean, I know that Twitch is it's more of a gaming streaming thing, but they're slowly moving into radio talk stuff and music and stuff like that. And so they're the only one who's consistently not banned me yet. So yeah, we're on Twitch, and we're on Twitter, Periscope, whatever it's called.
Yeah, that's an interesting little world there, Periscope. But
yeah, it's no one's watching on Periscope right now. They're all watching on Twitch. So and a couple on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, get over to Entropy. All of you guys, get over to Entropy. entropystream.live /ChrisWtBurke.
Jeez, guys, come on. Just, who's here now? Say hello. Hello, guys.
Lockstep, Quick Dub. We got Carrot. Carrot's there. Love it.
Hello, Carrot.
I'm better than my other personalities in regards to the people who we're going to have on as guests. That was pretty funny. All the crew's over there, guys, though. Go over there. Hang out. Entropy Stream. We love Entropy because they are, number one, they're a Canadian company. You don't need to create a new account. Maybe you've got YouTube or you've got Twitch or there's like 4 or 5 different things you can sign in with. But we love them because they're Canadian. They're all about that free speech, and they don't steal all our money when you guys donate. So that's always a nice bonus.
It's a beautiful bonus, and they're Canadian for as long as Canada exists, I guess. You know what I mean? I'm not looking towards a bright future at this point.
Feeling a little dark there, are we?
No, I'm not. I always will have that hope of humanity and hope of our community and hope of the pillars that we'll build, so that there's something for people to crawl back up on.
Yes.
And somebody said that at the gathering the other night, at your little gathering, and it made a lot of sense. It's not. Some of it is. I don't know. I can't explain it. I'm not going to explain it because there's a whole lot that we got to talk about. And I think let's ram into the election stuff. This is what we want to talk about. So let's talk about it. Let's
do it.
So everybody here is probably aware that there was an election a couple days ago. And if you weren't, you're probably one of the half of the population that did not vote. Or no, 40% of the population.
41 I think it was.
Yeah, so that's an interesting thought in itself. But there was an election if you weren't aware, and if you're just finding out, you're too late. You can't vote now, and you may be responsible
even though they
for
told
it.
us that they weren't going to have results until Friday. It's too late.
Yeah, that kind of that was so weird. There's so much weird about the election, but all elections have their own little crappy things, and
they do. It's.
I
want to get this out on the record right away.
Okay.
Because I know that people on the left are laughing. I know that people on the left are ridiculing us and making fun of us.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, I didn't expect him to win. So this was just going to be an added bonus if he did. And number two, do I think that there was cheating? Potentially, but it's not something that I care to focus on because there's so much more going on in the world. I'm not one of those people, after the last American election, all the people, and then still there's all these people, it was rigged, it was whatever. I'm sure it was. That's Canada. It's the who was it? Dan Dix. He calls it the selection.
It's the selection.
Yeah, the 2021 selection. And so I mean, I whatever. I'm not running around saying that everybody cheated and that there were ballots dropped off in the middle of the night. Let's just get that out of the way right away.
And I think I'm 100% on your team in that respect. I do think there's some fishy stuff that we'll probably touch on.
Yeah, we'll touch on it.
To the media.
Yep.
But I think that's more. I want to focus on how horrible our media and journalism is, and I want to keep hammering on how horrible our media is and how corrupt they are. So there are some examples of that we have from that night.
Yeah.
I do believe that there's, every election will use any tool available to try and sway the vote. We have examples of Alzheimer's patients being called to get their vote, and
people that we know personally, like people who we have relationships with. Exactly.
This has happened in this province. And the proxy person would be the voter there. In that case, they can, they were asked, and they have no idea who they voted for in the end. So that kind of shit happens, and whatever dirty trick can be played will be played in an election, and. Whether there was some mass scale, I have no proof of it, so there's no way. And I always believe that the election system in Canada is far more secure than the one in the United States, where we don't use the system. So
yes, let's remind you all of that too. We don't use the Dominion voting systems here in Canada for federal elections. I saw so many people posting like, Canada's elections were rigged, Dominion elections were blah, blah, blah. We do not. We count our ballots by hand here in Canada for the federal elections.
Yeah. Now, all of that is fed to the media, so the media could have changed anything along the way. I have no idea. But we still have to trust Election Canada, I believe. I don't think they're a corrupt organization. But there's corruption throughout the entire system, so I just don't know. I don't want to spend the next year trying to prove something that we'll never prove, so... I would rather focus on what we have that's tangible, and we do have a lot of tangible stuff, and there's a lot of beautiful positives that came out of this election. So I want to focus on that. and not waste our time. I mean, I might change my mind if we get some proof along the way here, or if something happens, of course. I mean, this is what we do. We critically think our way through whatever evidence we have at any given time, and try to make up our path based on those pieces of knowledge that we're able to have. So
yeah. Ben Stats over on Entropy said not a fan of the PPC, but CBC did do you dirty. Yes, they did. And I respect that you can see that. I mean, they just weren't shown. They didn't broadcast anything about the PPC other than slander. There was no advertising for them. There was no interviews for them. There was no nothing. So I mean that if you want to say that they were cheated out of the election, right there they were cheated out of the election. They were told, we're not going to advertise anything for you. In fact, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to put out campaigns against you and not allow you to respond to them and that sort of thing. So yeah, they were definitely
the censorship was a massive issue here, and even on the local level there was very little coverage of stuff. Some of it was by design. Some candidates refused to speak with the CBC, so that might have been an issue, but I know of one particular thing that happened on Friday of last week that got zero coverage, which was really surprising considering all the coverage that a similar event had the week before. And Christopher Landry had one of his large signs completely demolished on Friday, and we woke up to that news and somebody discovered it and cleaned it up. But that was an expensive sign that somebody, a volunteer, took time to do. And not only that, is completely illegal to destroy these election signs. So I don't think I was surprised, but to me it shows everything that was completely ignored that day. And it's not like they didn't know, because you and I made sure we had fun throughout the entire day of posting memes of waiting memes. So there was censorship.
But point being, like the week before or 2 weeks before, whenever it was, Lawrence Macaulay, who is like the 38-year running Liberal for cardigan riding, one of his signs got tagged in a way that nothing in PEI has ever been tagged. So we kind of think that it was fake. Not that the tagging was right, real. But we think, a lot of signs lead to it being done, perhaps by them for advertisement, to get news, whatever it may be,
or certainly used in that way.
Yeah. And so, point being, they covered this Lawrence Macaulay story in a big way, multiple articles and tweets and all that jazz, but not even so much as a peep on the PPC vandalism.
And you'd see all the people on the Twitters and all that stuff saying, yes, it's a total crime to destroy property, even if it wasn't the tags and stuff like that. You can't destroy signs, but one was completely demolished, a very large sign.
It actually looked like it was so demolished that it looked like somebody drove through it.
That's what I thought. But there's no signs of
there's no tire tracks or anything.
So I passed that off.
But it was smashed.
Thought so. Yeah. But anyway, that's the dirty tricks. We documented in the last episode all the crap that we faced, and that's how it ended on. That was the next day after our Thursday broadcast. It was that night, I guess.
It was that night. It would have been that night, yeah.
So that's how and then Saturday and Sunday. Saturday was the protest, and we'll get to that in the next hour perhaps. But yeah, there was certainly some dirty tricks played against the PPC. So whether we want to talk that the election was rigged, we can say that there was certainly a bias in who was allowed to speak, both in the media and even the debates, right? So something is different about the PPC with regards to coverage. That's for
sure. For sure, yeah. Indeed.
So that's I'm with you though, Chris. I don't want to waste our time like we saw in the States with all these there is a crap load of evidence.
Oh, there is, yeah.
I'm not saying there's not, but of the state stuff, but I'm just saying I'm not wasting my time trying to try to prove something that we'll never do, because we're just going to get in a hole when we have a whole lot that we got to do here.
Yeah, and that's kind of my thought on it. We could probably spend hours and hours looking at different ridings and looking at the numbers and all that stuff, but there's just so much more that's so more important to focus on right now in our country. And I mean, like I said, 300% increase in support here on PEI. What was it, 2,700 votes for PPC?
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's awesome. Because
And
that's,
hello, if you're out there, all 2,716 of you in
make
PEI.
yourself known.
Whoa! I'm actually happy. One of the things I wanted about this election was just to know our numbers, so we know how many. Because we said for a long time, there's a lot of others. When it started out with just me and you and a few protesters that were meeting off and on, and then it got bigger with the forum, and we were like, wow, there's a lot of others here, but
Yeah.
there's 2,000. There's
2,000.
almost 3,000 known.
Yeah.
Let alone the unknowns that don't vote. You know, there's still. I think the voter turnout in PEI is still pretty high. Maybe even upwards of 80%. No, maybe lower than normal, 75% or something.
So
But-
that was our turnout.
Just in PEI. Yeah, I'll go through all the ridings here.
Yeah,
I
we'll
think.
hit
Shall
those
we?
in a bit. Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
go for it. Why not?
Nah, why not? So let's go
Whatever.
through all the ridings. I don't know if you want to bring up the map. We don't need that stupid
Yeah.
little interactive map, do we? I don't care. But anyway, before I do that, if Kevin or Scott or Wayne or Christopher, if you're here watching this, thank
Awesome
you
job, guys.
so much, guys.
Yeah.
You guys were the level of tenacity and just get out there and go that you never before been politicians had was pretty remarkable. In the time that you had to do what you did was pretty spectacular, I think. And
Yeah.
you all tackled things in different ways. I didn't get to know Scott that well, but the other, and Wayne not a whole lot
Not a
either.
whole
But
lot,
the
yeah.
other two, I feel I'm fairly close with, and I believe they're going to be a friendship now for forever, both in politics and the community, and just going out for a beer. You know, it's they're beautiful people, and the beautiful people.
Here we go here.
I might be losing my mind, everybody, as well. So if
That's very probable.
if you hello, no, just joking. No, but let's go through it. So these guys, I wanted to just thank you. You guys did a wonderful job, and I want to thank all the beautiful PPC supporters out there from the signature collection. If you want to just go back to the start here, the signature collectors that came out of the woodwork. And that was it. Then all of these volunteers started to come out, just doing whatever they can. You know, there's some people I want to specifically mention, but I don't know if I should be mentioning particular names. So there's some people in the cardigan riding. There's some people that hung out with us on Monday night. That you guys are awesome, and you did a lot for everybody. And there's a lot of you out there, and I know there's a lot of people reaching out to the PPC and to Christopher and to Wayne and all the guys, wondering what's next. What do we do?
Yeah.
What do we do? How do we keep this going? How do we keep this going? And I'm like, take a breathe, take a breath. We all need just a few days to breathe here for a second. So before we even talk about the future, we're going to talk about the past here, and there is some good results here. Well, looking at Cardigan, we have who is it? Kevin Hardy with a good
There's
old
my guy.
715 people said yes.
Where
I
are
want
you,
you, Kevin
715
Hardy.
people? Come
That is
to
fantastic.
my house.
Can I
We
hear you?
need to hang
Oh,
out.
no, this is not good. Can I
Hello?
hear you now?
I don't know, can you?
Oh no, this is not good.
Harris is breaking stuff. Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Oh crap! Keep talking.
Is it me or is it you? I wonder. Can you guys hear me, chat? My friends in the chat, can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear me in my chat. That's good. So it's all Harris. He's breaking stuff. Yeah, I can hear him too. He just can't hear me. He's having monitor issues. You may need to somehow check. I guess he can't hear me if I'm trying to tell him. Hello? Hello? Check your...
So I can't hear anything anymore. This is not good. So you keep talking with the old go through the stats here, perhaps, and let's see what I do. I don't know what I do.
Just
I think I just broke myself.
Stream yard cam mic settings. Make sure you are on the right output. Right output. There we go. Sorry. Yeah, I can hear him too. His problem is that he can't hear me, which is kind of problematic when you're trying to have a conversation. Exactly. Turn it off and on again. I agree completely. Anyway, I'll go here while he just did he quit? Oh, he's coming back. Add to stream. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Harris? Check your settings. Anyway, we got Kevin Hardy, cardigan riding. That's my riding. Fed alert. Yeah. Talking about the election and then problems. Yeah, that happens, right? So to those 715 people who are in the cardigan riding, that's where I live. We hang out all the time. We do stuff. We have bonfires, all that jazz. So reach out if you are in that riding. Not that you have to be in that riding to reach out. We do it with everybody. Are you there, Harris? Reach out. Join us on Telegram. Telegram t.me/find your friends PEI. I'm going to put that in the chat. t.me/find your friends PEI. Join our Telegram group. We plan stuff all the time. We just had some folks over to our house on Tuesday night. There was like a number that's not supposed to be here, and that was a lot of fun. We had a bonfire and just chatted about stuff, and it was a good time. We do this quite often. t.me/find your friends PEI. Then we moved to Malpac. Malpac had a pretty decent turnout as well. 680 voted for our good friend Christopher Landry.
I don't know if you can hear me, but I might have to reboot. Sorry.
He's gonna reboot. It's all good, man. And so, yeah, if you're and Harris is also in the Malpac riding, and so make sure to reach out. When we say that we want to hang out with you, like we're not kidding. We really do. We do stuff like this all the time because we want to build community offline as well as online. Speaking of offline communications and whatnot and communities, I was just reading today that in Australia they're cutting different communications. Public Wi-Fi and stuff like that's getting cut. And at least one telephone company has cut all of their service as they were ordered to by the government because they don't want these videos getting out that have been getting out about Australia, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little later. But that's why we're pushing so hard that it's important to build community offline as well as online. Like it's cool to to come and hang out with you guys in the chat a few times a week, but if things go the way of Australia. And we lose communications, then what you gonna do? Let's check. Where's Charlottetown? Charlottetown riding. Scott McPhee. He had 347. I'm kind of not surprised by that low of a number for Charlottetown. They are notoriously red, and it's just unfortunately it was. You were number 347. You're the last guy. Were you calling? That's awesome. And but same thing, like even in our Telegram group, we've got Charlottetown, we've got people from all over the island who come to hang out, and then Egmont, I don't even know how we say it. Everyone says it differently. It says Wayne Bigger, he had 974. So, I mean, these are great numbers for an island that hasn't had, we haven't had PPC. This was the first PPC on PEI, and so to those of you who are in the chat. That a bunch of you helped out with it, a bunch of you gathered signatures, and a bunch of you helped with signage and putting up signs and all that. Like you guys were literally a part of making history here on the island, and bringing in a party that is actually wanting to stand for freedom, and so good on you guys. That's awesome. I'm encouraged by the numbers. I genuinely am. Obviously, we would have loved for any one of our ridings to win, but these numbers alone are really encouraging to me because it tells me that there's more out there than we thought. Like 2,700 votes here on the island alone. We get anywhere from 20 to 250 people at a rally on a Saturday afternoon. And so, we're missing about 2,500 people. Your sound is choppy. Your sound is choppy. Let me do this. Still waiting to see if Harris is going to come back. I don't know what that chop is. Is it choppy for other people? I don't think it's choppy for me. So that's kind of the ridings for PEI. We're encouraged. We want to see more. We want to see people reach out. So what's wrong with the world today? Exactly. Taz, thanks for hanging out, man. We're gonna go over a lot. Does Ragecast still do stuff? Yes, he does. He's just he's been taking a little break. He's back on Friday night. He'll be back Friday, so tomorrow night he'll be here to bring all that rage. So I'll do the I'll have the East Coast Kitchen Party pregame at what time is that? 8 o'clock our time, 7 o'clock Eastern. We'll do the hour of live music, and then that'll go into tomorrow's Friday. You're messing with me, Taz. Tomorrow's Friday, so we'll do that, and Rage will be back at it. It'll be a good time. Let's take it. I'm not going to play all of Max's speech. This is just a section that Harris wanted to play. He's still, I'm guessing, rebooting, and I don't know what we want to talk about next. So I'm going to play this until he gets back. I only caught one of his, but it was an important one. All of his are really great. Ragecast, Jeremy McKenzie, for those who are in the chat. Hey, Transplanter, how's it going, buddy? Rage's streams are, they're very informative, but they're also, they're almost like a form of like therapy for all of us. It's kind of an opportunity for us to all unload about the frustrations of our country and what's going on. But here, let's check out Max's. This is just a section of Max's speech that Harris thought you guys would enjoy.
The other parties will fight for your rights, and that's why today the People's Party has become Canada's only real opposition party in Ottawa. The only party that's opposed to all this nonsense that is destroying our society, our economy, and our country. If we had a proportional voting system, we would have elected about 20 MPs today. Unfortunately, we won't be able to carry on this fight in Parliament, but we will continue this battle to unite Canadians under the freedom umbrella. Canadians who oppose the rise of tyranny and authoritarian government need a voice. We are going to be that voice. Yes, PPC, thank you.
Boom. So, I mean, great points in there. I mean, again, like when we got to interview Max, what was it? I guess 2 weeks ago now. He himself even said kind of straight up, like, we don't expect to win. He wanted to get a few seats, that's for sure. But he was, he had no visions of grandeur where he was going to become the next PM of Canada or anything like that. And he told us that straight up. He said, the goal of the party right now is to gain traction. The goal of the party is to get out there and to get in people's faces, to let people know that we're here, to let people know they were lied to a few years back after the lovely Kinsella campaign. And, we're here and we're a serious party. In 3 years, we've surpassed the Green Party, who has been around since like the early 90s. So it's kind of, the party means something. Look who's back!
Can you hear me?
I can. I could always hear you. I could always hear you.
So I was just freaking out and I couldn't hear anything. That was pretty embarrassing there for a minute there, I guess. Hey, hello everyone.
We just finished. We watched the whatchamacallit. Max's closing speech there, the 2-minute clip that you wanted me to share.
Oh, good. Sorry everyone. I just got kicked out. I'm Harris. That's Chris Burke.
Welcome back.
I logged into YouTube. I don't know what I was doing. I was just hanging out in YouTube, thinking that's where I'm supposed to be hanging out. When everybody knows we're supposed to be hanging out in entropystream, right? Just give me a second here. Now I got to get the chat
just
back
gotta
open. Just
reorganize yourself. It's all good. Just to
That was
address
intense.
something in the chat here.
Okay.
Ben said acceleration towards what exactly? So he's talking about Taz said if things are going like what I'm hearing, acceleration is happening. If things don't look good, hopefully not. And then Ben asked acceleration towards what? Well, hang out for the Ragecast tomorrow. You'll find out.
Yes. And there could be some stuff that we touch on about what we're seeing around the world, you know,
Yes.
that because we've been following the pattern for a very long time now, and the pattern has always come to Canada afterwards. So sometimes it's good for us to show what's happening in other places, so that
Yeah, and so we'll get. I wanted you to know, guys. I didn't miss that chat. I do see it, and it is something that we'll address in a bit. But yeah, there's much to talk about in that regards too. And
definitely. So what else did I miss here? Like the chat. What are you guys all doing?
you-
Hello, chat. Hi, guys.
So when you went down, I went through the writings. Is this hand mean you can't hear me again?
Oh, I can hear you, but I can't find your stream. I can't find your stream now.
Oh, it's
on
still there.
Entropystream.
entropystream.live /chriswtburke. So we went through the writings, talked about the encouraging numbers that we're seeing, and how this is kind of something that we're going to be able to springboard off of next time around, whether it's in 2 years or whenever the next election is. And then we just played Max's closing speech, essentially saying the same thing. And then you came back to us.
Yay! I was gonna save that speech going into you playing some music, but I screwed all that up with my old.
Then you went dead.
I know. I went dead. I'm not
what I
judging
can
you,
do
man.
actually?
I'm not-
I do
I'm
have
not
a video.
judging.
I have a video
you?
that we can play.
Oh.
We've played it here before. I don't think it's the one that you think it is. I think it's actually it's along the lines of what we were just talking about with chat. The acceleration and whatnot, and kind of how that goes. And so I guess are we about due for songs here now? Are we or?
No, we got about 15 minutes. Let's
Okay,
we
keep
wait
talking
for the
then.
first hour. At the top of the hour, we'll get some music, So let's.
Yeah.
I know. I lost our pattern, our rhythm there. So just give
all
us a
good.
second to get back
It's
in
all
there
good.
and
Shake it
Hi
up.
guys. Yes. Hi guys. Hi Colin, Ben,
Cheers.
Ammo. Who else we got here? I was saying to somebody, I can't remember who I was. Yes, I do. I know who I was talking to, and I said to her that we might be leaning on the chat a little bit throughout the end of the night, just to see what you guys are talking about and see if you had any questions. And but we'll see, because we're kind of interrupted here. But I do want to say that I'm very happy with what happened in PEI. I'm not disappointed at all. I now know that there's 2,706. What is it? 15? Is that what
Something
I
like
said?
that,
When
yeah.
I get my document open again here. So hello, all 2,700 of you. I hope I get to meet every single one of you. We definitely have a lot of work to do, both in the political arena and in our community here, which is thriving in a heck of a lot of ways. So please come find us. Join the Telegram channel. Maybe it's a good time to toss that when I get my notes in here. We'll get that link up there so we can get everybody in chat to make sure that you're with us on Telegram.
Oh my goodness, the damn flag again. Transplender, his flag is not backwards. It is vertical. Every damn stream, somebody says something about the flag. My flag is being presented in a horizontal fashion, as though it were on a flagpole. We literally have this conversation every stream. Harris's flag is being presented as though it was hanging from a banister.
I know what it is though, Chris. Is as the night gets darker,
Yeah.
you can't see that the background is actually blue, so
Yeah.
it looks like a big black flag. So I need to put I'm gonna put glow in the dark strips up and down the side. I don't know what we're gonna do.
It's like this. So here's my patch.
Yes,
This is
the patch. The patch
this
saves the day.
Is vertical, or this is horizontal. How I'm displaying mine, and Harris is displaying his like this.
The patch saved the day.
Oh, the patch saved the day. We're out of patches, by the way, guys.
I was going to ask you. You guys got no patches left.
I've got a couple that there were some people who paid extra money so that I could give patches to a deserving bigot, or if there's somebody kind of in the community that I think should have one of these patches. So I do have I do have a small stack. This is from 400 though. There was 400 of these.
I can't believe
And,
you got rid of 400 of those.
in
That
like
is so
in like
amazing.
2 weeks, dude. It was crazy.
Maybe that means there needs to be more, and I guess
I'm
it's a good
already
time.
getting requests already. People are like, are you going to order more? Are you going to order more? So if I get enough people saying, are you going to order more? Then I'll order more. You kind of have to, you have to order them in bulk in order to get them at a decent price. And so if you are interested, shoot me a message. And if we get enough interest, I think I can do them in like batches of 100. And so we'll go from there. But
And they are
somebody
super
mentioned...
cool.
Somebody mentioned the flags too. Yes, flags are from Frank. That's not me. I don't do flags. Flags of Diagolon at protonmail.com. And for patches, that's patches of Diagolon at protonmail.com. But like I said, we're out right now. But if you wanna, if you want to shoot me a message to say that, hey, I'm interested. If you order more, do that. And you can do that. We're charging like $5 each for them. $5 shipping in Canada.
And they're super cool on the go bags and the
Yep.
jackets
Yes.
and
Let me see, let me see,
yeah,
let me see.
show that off, Chris. I love how that looks.
Oh, it's so heavy now. I packed it.
Why did you pack it, Chris?
I don't know.
It looks like it's a well packed bag, though, my friend. That is nice.
It's very well packed.
That's cool. But they do look awesome on the bags, and
They do,
that is
yeah.
the best location, I think, for the old patches. And I can't wait to see one out in the wild. And that goes for the flags too. Good time to
Yeah.
talk about the flags because they're still available.
They are.
Are
Yeah.
they? Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah. The old the flags of Diagolon. And at this point, this is probably for a brief time there, we thought that the old Maple Leaf was going to survive, but I think this one may outlast the old Maple Leaf at this point.
It's seeming to, yeah.
So welcome, and if you guys don't have a clue, if you're new here, welcome. First of all, this is Faith and Liberty, number 8. That over there is Chris Burke. I'm Harris. If you're in YouTubes or the Twitches or the Periscopes, come on to Diagolon. Come on to the main Diagolon chat, which is entropystream, and that goes for a lot of the community.
Yes.
A lot of the people that are streaming are doing it. The chats from this area, this wonderful little platform that is free speech
Fantastic.
loving. So, come on over and join us.
Someone in chat, I think it was my mom, mentioned that Diagodog has a patch. She does.
That is
She
so
has
awesome.
she has one of those
She
cool,
is a
like,
patch.
tactical style vests that she uses for her harness, and there's Velcro on it. And so we slapped a couple on her. That way people know not to mess the dog.
Not to mess with the Diagodog. The Diagodog is awesome. Hello, Lucy. If you're out there, you can't hear me, but
She keeps running by every now and then.
okay. I didn't get to see her yet tonight. I'm just gonna go. I know we got a couple minutes before you gives us some music, and I get a breather after that stressful moment that I just had. You don't know how my brain goes. You probably know me better than most people at this point. So my brain goes pretty crazy when that.
When I've told this before. Prior to us, we made the change to using StreamYard just in the last 7
Which
or 8
is
episodes.
great, by the way.
It's been fantastic. Prior to that, I was using OBS, which is it's a great program, but it just sucks up everything on your computer. Like all your RAM goes out the window. You can't do anything. And so it was fine when it was just me by myself. But if I wanted to bring a guest in, my computer just wouldn't work. And so here we are now. We're rocking StreamYard, and I know you're in the chat, Transplender. Make sure you check it out, man. I know that you're.
It's doing great.
You're using Skype, I think, for your interviews and stuff. StreamYard is so much easier. You literally just shoot them a link. And the great thing about it, the thing that I love the most, because I have shitty internet, what it does is it actually utilizes the interviewees' internet to broadcast their signals. So it's not, I'm not throwing double bandwidth on my network when I bring in guests. It's just the same consistent, nice, steady stream. And my computer doesn't slow down to, basically nothing, which is what happened before.
It's great. So I'm curious, who was making fun of me when I was freaking out? I guess, Natasha was laughing at me when I was... I gotta go back here.
Is. Come here.
Oh, the Diagodog! Yes! Oh, I didn't know. Hello, COVID. I didn't know you were there. COVID Island. Hello,
COVID
hello.
Island. Hey, buddy. Thanks for
Buddy,
sticking
I
around
noticed-
and hanging out.
I'm just scrolling back
This
up
is-
to see if
this
I
is
missed.
Lucy.
Hi, guys. Hello, everyone. Lucy! Yay! Hello.
She's a very good dog.
She's
oh,
awesome.
thank you. Thank you.
I think she knows when I'm
She
sad
still
too.
stinks like a skunk, though.
She didn't stink when I was there the other night. You're mean, man. God.
You gotta put your nose right on her nose, and then you smell it. Like when she first got sprayed, you could just I smelled it when she came in the house. But so now, we've given her 2 baths in peroxide and baking soda, and you don't smell it when she walks anymore. But if you kind of if you sniff her nose or anything like that, you get a good whiff of it.
I have really good advice for you, my friend.
Don't do that.
Don't sniff your dog's nose, man.
See, this guy's a cat owner. Cats don't cuddle. Cats don't hang out.
Oh,
If you try to sniff your
don't know.
cat, they smack you in the face.
I've never tried to sniff my cat's nose before. That I know. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. I have a Diaga cat.
Excellent.
Black and white little patch, so maybe I should bring her in. I'm a cat fan, yes. I like cats.
I'm sorry to hear that, COVID Island. You mentioned this morning that you guys had a meeting. Sorry to hear that it went nowhere. I'm not surprised.
Oh no.
We'll talk more. We'll talk more offline, I'm sure. But
we speaking of that, seeing it was brought up. I mean, we want to have a guest here very, very soon.
Very soon, hopefully. Yes.
It wasn't a good week this week, but maybe even I don't know. Anyway, we want to do that. So COVID Island, we want to get that out there. So don't think that we forgot about you guys or anything. You guys are very important to.
Yeah, he and I
we're
were
going to
talking
talk
about it this
about
morning.
a lead up
He
to
and I
that.
were talking about that this morning. So.
Okay. Yeah. So I think about you two quite a bit, and you're very brave, and we're going to show a little bit of that when we get into it again of what happened in that protest day. And before we get there, I mean, you got a little clip I think you want to show, and then you're going to give some music and get our spirits. I don't know how our spirits are going to be because I like to get. I don't know what music you're going to play, so we'll see. So let's do that if you're up for it. I know the chat here is going to be up for some music. Everybody loves it, and I don't want to speak for everybody, but if you don't, you're crazy because Chris is awesome. So let's get into it, hey?
I'm not sure what's going to happen when this video ends. You may need to play director, so you know what's up.
We'll see what happens.
You watch those
See you
nature
soon, guys.
documentaries on the cable? Yeah. You see the one about lions? Yeah. Get this lion. He's the king of the jungle. Huge mane out there. He's laying down under a tree in the middle of Africa. He's so big. He's so hot. He doesn't want to move. Now, the little lion cubs, they start messing with him. Biting his tail, biting his ears. He doesn't do anything. The lioness, she starts messing with him, coming over, making trouble. Still, nothing. Now, the other animals, they notice this, and they start to move in. The jackals, hyenas, they're barking at him, laughing at him. They nip his toes and eat the food that's in his domain. They do this, and they get closer and closer and bolder, till one day, that lion gets up and tears the shit out of everybody, runs like the wind, eats everything in his path. Because every once in a while, the lion has to show the jackals who he is. It's too late to be scared. It's time to kill. I'm going to the other room. You come out when you're ready. Don't beat him. Kick his ass.
Every day I'm hustling.
First up.
My neighbor's car got stole last night, right out from his driveway. We heard the dogs a barking, we never paid him any mind. Mary said she's gonna lock the door from now on when we go away. And I've been walking round this farm, wondering if it's time to get a gun. That's what I've been thinking. I could afford one if I did just a little less drinking. Time to put something between me and the sun. When the talking is over, it's time to get a gun. Last week the government man was there when I walked out of my back door. He said, I'm sorry to bother you, son, but it don't matter anymore. 'Cause even while we're talking, we're right here where we stand. We're making plans for a 4-lane highway and a big old overpass. Time to get a gun. That's what I've been thinking. I could afford one if I did just a little less drinking. Time to put something between me and the sun. When the talking is over, it's time to get a gun. Mary says she's worried about herself and the kids. She's never known anybody had a gun, and her daddy never did. But I think it should be up to me, 'cause when all is said and done, somebody's gotta walk into the night. Well, I'm gonna be that one. Time to get a gun. That's what I've been thinking. I could afford one if I did just a little less drinking. Time to put something between me and the sun. When the talking is over, it's time to get a gun. When the talking is over, it's time to get a gun. Get a gun. Quick Dub says, lost all my guns in a tragic boating accident. I hear you, man. I hear you. That happens. It's bizarre how often those tragic gun-losing boating expeditions seem to happen. It's a terrible, terrible travesty, really. And it's one that we should really be talking about a lot more than we do, because it's terrible. Absolutely terrible. But, yeah, great tune. Little, who was that? Gary Felgard, I think. Was it? Great tune, or Fred Eaglesmith, sorry. Get those guys mixed up all the time. I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I fear no evil, because I'm blind to it all. My mind, my gun, they comfort me, because I know I kill my enemies when they go. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all of the days of my life. I will dwell on this earth forevermore. Said I walk beside the still waters, and they restore my soul. But I can't walk on the path of the right, because I'm wrong. Well, I came upon a man at the top of a hill, called himself the savior of the human race. Said he come to save the world from destruction and pain. But I said, how can you save the world from itself? shadow of death. I fear no evil because I'm blind. Said I walk beside the still waters and they restore my soul. But I know that when I die, my soul is
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. 2 times in a row. I didn't keep my mic muted. I can't speak, apparently, so maybe I should have the old mic muted. Everything else is going well, though. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much, Chris, for that little music interlude. I love the little breaks. I feel kind of bad sometimes because I'm sitting here just enjoying the music while you're doing all the work, but I'll take it because I love it, and I know the audience here loves it as well. At least I hope so. If not, they have really bad taste. No offense, but they do. Thank you, guys. I'm Harris. That was Chris Burke. That was Chris Burke. Somewhere, wherever he's going to be popping in a second here to chat with us for hour number 2 of Faith and Liberty, number 8. Coming.
Boom.
Come on
We're
in.
back.
Good to see you, my friend. That was wonderful. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, sir.
I,
Always a good time.
I know it's wonderful, and I do. I feel bad. I'm sitting here just enjoying it, having a dirty old cigarette, and something.
Enjoy away, sir.
I'm gonna quit those cigarettes, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it by my birthday. I'm ready now, and it needs to happen. So this is a good time to do it. I'm in the crisis of my life, so why not add some?
Why not add some additional stress to that?
Why not? Let's just see how that happens. So if I haven't lost my mind yet, let's wait until I
give it a week or two.
we'll see. Yeah, but I'm ready. It's I quit several times before, and I always come back to it in moments of stress. So why not try it in a moment of stress and then see what comes of that?
What happens to that?
And that's how my brain works. You know, I look at strategy. And if it has to be inner strategies, then let's try it. But
why not, right?
Yeah, but it's a control. It's something that has control of me, and I hate it. So,
well,
I'm
good
ready.
on you, man. That's a great thing.
Yeah. So I don't know where that came from, but that's where my brain is right now. So thank you, guys. Oh, so QuickDub says on the patch since March. Hey, does that work? I feel that if I switch to something as a replacement, I'm just going to get addicted to whatever that is.
Replacement.
Like I'm afraid of eating a lot because I used to have a weight issue once upon a time in my life, and I'm fearful of gaining all that back, and I don't want to replace it with anything. Any oral fixation that I might have. I don't want to. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on because it's time to move on. This hello everyone. How are you, Chris?
How
are you? Actually, I'm actually curious how you are because I know you're going through some personal stuff with changes in your whole household right now. If I'm understanding, are you still doing the? We have officially.
If
you don't mind sharing with our audience,
it's already out there for the world.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, we have officially. I don't think they've been filled out yet, but we have officially printed out the intent to homeschool forms.
That sounds so weird. The intent to homeschool.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I didn't even realize that there was a form that you had to fill out, but apparently there is. So yeah, we've got the forms here. The kids haven't been back to school. We haven't actually done school with them yet either, though, because we've kind of, we're all kind of decompressing right now, just kind of from everything. Jennifer just finished work for the restaurant for the year, because it's a seasonal restaurant. So they closed on the 19th, and then she was there yesterday for the last day just to kind of clean up and get all that gross stuff done. And so there's just there's a lot kind of going on, and we weren't I know that homeschooling takes a lot less time than regular school, and so I'm not like in a rush where I'm like, we need to get our curriculums out now and we need to start this right away. It's just and the thing, I struggled with it the other day. You know me, I'm not an overly emotional guy, but I spent much of Tuesday morning crying Not
I think a lot of us probably did.
Yeah, but not over the election. It was
Not
just over the Jennifer and I kind of had that conversation of what are we going to do with our kids and all that sort of stuff, and just really struggling with that, like, am I doing the right thing? And then, like, I read some more information on the website, and it hit. I realized that they don't actually, if they stay with homeschooling, they don't get a diploma. They get a GED, which I was kind of like, that was actually a big one for me. I don't know why, but that kind of set me off, because I was like, oh shit, am I screwing up my kids for the rest of their lives by this? But then I stopped. And I don't know if it was Jen that said it to me, or if I just kind of if I said to myself, it was probably Jen, because she's the smart one in the relationship. We're not committing to, the next. Seth's in grade 8, Mike is in grade 5, so we're not committing to the next 7 or 8 years of homeschooling. Right now, we're taking it a year at a time. So there's, aside from the segregation and stuff, this year for students is going to be shit as it is. Because, I mean, if you're in a family where they refuse to do testing, if somebody in your school gets sick, you've got to isolate for 24 days if you don't get tested. And so before the segregation and stuff started, we had the conversation of, like, it would probably be more stable for our kids to have it at home. And so then when the segregation stuff started coming in, it was kind of okay, this is like perfect. Now we have 2 reasons as to why we should do this. And you know what? The kids are, they're not, I'm not going to say they're excited about it, but, like, they were begging us to homeschool before school started.
Wow.
And, asking, can we homeschool? And so, they're not, Micah's thrilled about it. He doesn't like going out of the house. He's a lot like me. He's a homebody. Seth will miss some of the social aspect of it, but we're, as our community is growing,
I was just going to say, exactly.
We're meeting more kids. And, I've got parents reaching out to me, hey, I've got a 12-year-old. Hey, I've got a 10-year-old. My boys are 10 and 12. Seth
That's
will be 13
so awesome.
in November.
So
and so
awesome.
people are reaching out, and, like, some of them are connecting through video games and stuff like that. And and it's pretty great. It's
I love it. It's the community, even still, because expanding to the families meeting is not just friends like you and I. It's now families becoming friends with families, and it's permeating through the entire community, and it's not just about survival, it's about love and connection and friendship.
True, real community and family, and so it's good.
It's beautiful. We talked about that the other night at your place, how it just kind of feels, I know we never lived it, but all the stories that we hear of building the new world and that real community that existed once upon a time in the olden days, back in my day. It was a community effort all around, and it feels like we're doing that now within our beautiful little community here, and there's a lot of love and support right now, and I love it.
Yeah, it's been neat to see, like, so it was almost unanimous for everybody. Like, the election ended, and there was like there was no wallowing, none of that. It was like right away, okay, what do we need to do next? Like, I had messages on my phone, I think it was Monday morning or Tuesday morning, like, okay, we get that the election is, if it was Monday morning, we get the election's coming, but we still need to talk about what happens next.
Exactly.
And how we're going to exist in this QR coded society and all that sort of stuff. And people are thinking about that, which is really great.
Yeah, and that's like what I touched on earlier about how I feel that the last 3 weeks was somewhat of a distraction to us, because 3 weeks ago we were having all these exact conversations in a lot of ways about the community and bartering with each other and helping each other with services. And we were having all these conversations, but probably not. We were just starting it.
It was we think we're going to have to do this conversation, but nobody wants to do it yet. Yeah,
exactly. But we're still in the early stages of this. And if there's anybody new out there not aware of this community, that there is a very large community in the province, not just the 2,700 that voted in PEI for the PPC. There's a very diverse group of individuals that are now uniting to connect, to share, and barter.
And what I love about this group? It's I can very confidently say to you in an advertisement for this group, this is not a group of crazy people. We have maskers, we have non-maskers, we have people who are vaccinated, we have people who are not vaccinated. We have such a wide variety of people in this group, and the goal of this group is that we're all looking at this QR code that's coming and what that's going to do to our society, and people are able to put aside, I'm vaxxed or I'm not vaxxed, and say, listen, we don't agree with what's coming. The past stuff starts here on the 5th of October. We still don't really know. They're telling us right now that it's just for large events, that it won't be on a retail level, but it's going to be. We all know it's going to be.
Well,
it's
they
on a
said
retail
restaurants, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, it'll be like your large events, concerts.
It'll be everything.
But that's just it. Like, I mean, Calgary released theirs and said, like, this, this is not a mandatory thing. Like, if your business wants to do this as an extra level of protection for their customers because you care about them, then you can do this. And then literally 2 days later, it was voted almost unanimously by their council that, nope, we're doing this. Everybody has to do it. You can't opt out. It's not an option anymore. You're doing it. And so, because I know we're all thinking about, like, those businesses that, and I know myself too. I made a poster that I sent around to businesses,
awesome
saying,
poster.
like,
if you got that, bring it up. By the way,
yeah, saying, like, we're not going to discriminate against people and that sort of thing, and because we've always been under the understanding that a business is owned by a business owner, and that said business owner gets to run said business how they would like to run that business, obviously within the realms of the law. And so naturally, because this is how our government works, their way of getting around that concept of the law was just saying, well, sorry, we know that you might want to not do this, but too bad. You're going to do it anyway because we want to discriminate. Actually, I didn't pull it up, but I'll pull up the clip here in a minute. They're telling us point blank now that the point of this vaccine passport is to make life harder on those who are unvaccinated.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
they literally admitted the coercion, basically.
Straight up said it.
Like, it's not about health; it's about just getting people to do it. But again, it is underlying about the health, I guess. But that poster, I just flipped that back. Oh, never mind. I saw you just got rid. Whatever.
No,
it's
I
really
still
good.
got it. You watch
okay,
this. You watch this. Boom.
Okay. Get it. And I just want, because it's very important, I think, at this point, to focus on the business owners. As a local business lover and supporter, I've always been a believer that local business, it's very important to support those individuals and those businesses that are running those individuals. And not only that, as a fiscal conservative, as a capitalist, I guess, we want to spend our money in these places. So I think it's very important that the business owners who may be watching this should know that there's 2,700 at least people, let alone a community, that are looking for people that we want to support. Not people that we need, because we don't need anybody, as we just told you.
We found that out Tuesday night, right? Like Tuesday night, we've got everything we need covered in regards to food, in regards to medicine, in regards to having fun, we don't need
mental health, everything.
Health, like
everything.
Massage, the pokey things.
Exactly.
Like, we've got it all.
Exactly. And we're supporting each other in those endeavors. So if there are other business owners that want to get in touch with us to get in on that, we will absolutely promote the heck out of you. And I will definitely be there to support you, because we absolutely need some resistance to this crazy. And sometimes business owners, you gotta speak to them in the fact that there's a community here that want to spend their money. Those of us that still have jobs and stuff that's not been forced out of their employment because of these tyrannical measures, we're supporting each other because of that, but we're also supporting the businesses that are being absolutely destroyed through this pandemic, through last year and now still with these measures. They're destroying you, business owners, and we want to help you, business owners. Look at the difference. They are destroying you. We want to help you. So please, if you're out there, let me know so I can come and spend my money.
We literally have a list. We literally have a list that we're keeping of people and services that they offer. Even if you're not maybe you're a private business. Maybe you run like we've got. Thank you for clarifying the word, Mom. Acupuncture. Like, we've got acupuncturists and yoga instructors and dance instructors, and like we've got all of these people want to do business with you in a bartering way. They're not looking for you to come and give them money. They're looking for you to come and say, hey, I grow a garden. Here's some vegetables. Or, hey, I'm, in my case, hey, I'm a musician. Let me play a show or a party or something for you and your friends or whatever it may be. Like, we're genuinely, this is in the works now. It's happening. We don't need the businesses that are in town. We don't need Superstore. It's convenient. We like it because it's nice and easy. I can go in there and I can grab the things that I need. But why should I patron a business that doesn't want me there, that's going to do nothing but give me a hard time while I'm there?
And not only that, I actually hate the fact that there's places that I won't go to now because of I can't go to if it's restaurants, and there's some places that I really loved to go for breakfast, and I was familiar with the staff, and they knew who I was when I wanted my coffee. Like it was a regular for me, and now that I hate that I can't support those people, But either way, if you're out there and listening that you recognize my face, I want to come back to your place. Don't let them stop. Don't let them stop me from patronizing your businesses. That's ridiculous. Yes. There's people out here that will definitely support you. So please, please, please get in touch. Like that bun shop or that bakery in Nova Scotia. Remember?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? That was awesome.
I saw that. Yeah.
And they chose to say, look, if you guys won't let us dine everybody in, we'll just go back to the method of last year and do all takeout type stuff, right?
Yeah, so and there was some businesses in Toronto. Some businesses in Toronto also, they just closed down their restaurants. They said, we're just going to do patio dining.
Exactly.
And because we're, what I'm seeing from a lot of business owners, first of all, there's obviously pushback and saying, we don't agree with this. We think this is wrong. I mean, British Columbia, I think I mentioned this in our last stream, British Columbia saw a 50% decline in commerce the very first day of their, when they brought it in. I can't remember what the number was for Toronto, but it was quite large. It was a very large number. And this is just sales at businesses dropping because now we can only serve 50, 60, 70% of the population, whatever it is.
Yeah. Let alone the people that are protesting it or boycotting it because they don't agree with it. It's not just the people who have been segregated, it's the people who are supporting those who have been segregated. It's a crazy, crazy situation, and it certainly is affecting the small business owners. And I think a lot of the small business owners don't even realize that they're being affected in this way. That
they won't yet. They'll notice it really soon, though, because I mean, it's there are not many businesses, especially like mom and pop style businesses, which are the ones that we tend to try to patron anyway. Yeah. But there's not many of those that can afford a 50% cut in their sales for more than a week at a time. Like a lot of these shops, my family owns a restaurant. These places are running paycheck to paycheck, and as soon as they, and there may be some of those businesses that are happy with this. They're happy. They think it's a great idea because they're all about this, but they're going to find out really, really quickly that this is going to screw your business over.
Yeah, I hope they realize it is a terrible business plan what they're jumping in here. I went to one of the last places I went was probably Sunday or Saturday. I can't remember. It was with one of the candidates, and we walked into the restaurant. We refused to wear a mask, of course, but when we walked in, there was not a person in the restaurant.
Yeah.
And of course, they're not going to refuse our business. At that point, I would have laughed in their faces if there was nobody in that restaurant.
You can really afford to say no?
Yeah, exactly. But they let us. They didn't say a word. They served us. But during the course of the meal, overheard them talking about that they want they would wish it would just be mandatory so that they don't have to deal with any of these things. And it just made me sad. It was like, I'm never going back there again anyway, whether they're thriving or not. I just don't like
the fact that you wanted to be is enough for me. Yeah.
So sucks.
So I wanted to show this clip. I know some people have seen it, some people haven't. It's along the lines of what we're talking about here. Okay. We've of course been saying for the longest time, like the jabs, the QR codes, all this stuff, like the sole purpose for all of this is to coerce us. The forcing people in their jobs or out of their jobs rather. The sole intent on this is because they want to apply pressure to those who will not get it. If we make life difficult enough for them, then they will get it. And just this, was it yesterday? Heather Morrison, she's our doctator, our top doc. Was it yesterday or Tuesday?
I think
Yeah,
it might
I
have
think
been
it was-
Tuesday. Oh, yeah, it was the day after the election. It was
Right.
Tuesday.
That's right. I thought it
They
was funny
said,
that they were
boom,
having
we're
it.
doing this
Boom.
right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They so much as, I mean, I can't even say that they're not so much as admitting it, because they straight up are admitting, both Heather and Dennis King, our premier, are admitting in this clip. It's not terribly long. The reason for the pressure through the stores, the reason for the pressure at the borders, the reason through the pressure through your jobs is solely to get you to get it. It's that's it. So here we go. Let's roll.
Let's do it.
Before that you're not comfortable with just our numbers are high in terms of how many Islanders have been vaccinated, but you'd like to see it higher. We'd all love to see it at 100%, no question. Has the province, has your office given any consideration to a vaccine mandate, to mandating it?
I think, I mean, the Premier probably could answer this, but I think from my perspective, we're doing a lot of things to certainly encourage and support vaccination. And I think the Premier certainly announced 2 other measures to increase, that may serve to also increase our vaccine uptake. But at this point, I think there would be nothing further.
Just right quick for those who missed it, she just said that he has enacted some other restrictions that will help with our uptake.
From my point of view.
Yeah, look, I mean, we have tremendous uptake for Islanders. I mean, the numbers that Dr. Morrison has talked about here earlier are, as good or better than most jurisdictions in the country. So we've had a tremendous uptake. I think there's some remaining Islanders who remain a little bit hesitant that I think will go and get vaccinated, because as we're seeing across the country and beyond, that life will be different for those who aren't vaccinated for the short term. And I think it's also in the best interest of everyone to go and do so. But I think there's also a percentage of the population that are opposed to vaccine. And I'm not sure if me saying you have to get this would change anything from that perspective. I think what we're trying to do with our PEI Vax Pass and with our, get vaccinated or test policy for frontline services from government is to say that, these are the realities of what we're dealing with right now. Nobody wants to have to deal with what we've been dealing with. We all want to go back to normal, so we don't look and say, are you vaccinated, are you not? We'd like to go back to some kind of normal life, but until we can get there, our job from the beginning remains to do the best we can to keep as many people safe as possible.
How about we go back to life and we don't ask if you're vaccinated or not, just like we never used to,
Ever.
instead of worrying about this bullshit?
How about we just do that now? And he's still pretending that these passes are not going to go. They are going to go away. We're always going to have to present this shit now.
Yeah.
Always. And whatever else they want to tag onto it later.
They are not going to spend $1 billion on a program like this to throw it out in 6 months or a year or 2 years. That's $1 billion. I realize that we are up in the trillions of money now that we have wasted on this bullshit, but $1 billion is still a lot of money, and they are not going to dish that out for something that's only going to be here for 6 months.
And what you were touching on to bring up that video was literally telling us that they're doing it to coerce us, in that video, not for the health. And
we've brought in further restrictions to encourage people to get this. Like, how much clearer does this need to be made to people that this has nothing to do with a virus, this has nothing to do with your safety, this has nothing to do with your health, this has everything to do with control. And that is it. They want to control you and dictate to you everything that you do, everything that you eat, everything that you wear, whatever it may be. And I just can't make that more clear for you.
You can't. And when all this rolls into climate change action later on, it should be made clear, because that's what's going to happen. This is all going to transition to climate change action as well, because we got to save the planet.
We're already seeing
that's
it.
a
We're already
conversation.
seeing CBC just this morning.
Predictive programming.
Jennifer, I mean, she's hilarious. I love Jennifer. She's great. But I
She
just
is
hear
wonderful.
her. I hear her over her morning coffee just shout out, "What the hell?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "They're pushing this climate lockdown stuff."
Were they today?
Yeah. The concept of it was an article about how the lockdowns help to restore much of the planet.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And so again, here's what they do. They foreshadow. They give little hints here and there, and then it's a thing. Well, actually, first it's
We'll see.
you're crazy if you think it's a thing.
Yes,
then it's
exactly.
maybe it will be a thing, and then it's going to be a thing, and then it's you're crazy if you don't think there should be a thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes. That's a whole different thing. We got to get through this COVID crap here, and
Ben Stats, you're wrong, my friend. Nobody's going to die because of the vaccine. People are already dying. I don't know who you are. I've never seen you in my chat before, but you have no idea what you're talking about. Go to VAERS. Go read it. Stop reading CBC. Stop reading Global. It's all bullshit. There are thousands of deaths already. Not directly, not I poked you with the needle and you dropped dead. It's people who have had 13-year-olds. In fact, I'm going to show a video right now.
Okay.
No.
Okay,
This needs
do
to
it,
be.
Chris.
That
You're right.
irritates
Do
the
it.
shit out of me.
Do it.
There
Our
are
audience
kids.
should see this shit.
We
I'm
literally
not-
have kids that are dying from this. I know of a family in Ontario. In order prior to
wait now.
making the
Wait now,
change-
Chris.
What?
This could be the gentleman. We were going to talk about this. This could be the,
Oh,
the guy
okay.
that
Is this the guy Saturday?
I don't remember. Sorry if it is.
Oh,
Ben.
I'm not sorry. You're still wrong. To say that
You're
there
wrong.
to say that there's no deaths.
I was going to say
from this
sorry for
vaccine.
not remembering his name. That's all I was going to say.
I don't even know if I got his name.
No, I
But
don't know.
it is me. Perfect. That's great. Go to VAERS. FDA. There was a video that just came out 2 days ago of an FDA. It was an actual FDA presentation where they showed that more people are dying as a result from the vaccine than are from COVID. It was essentially a 2-to-1. For every one person that they saved from COVID, 2 died as a result from the jab. These are actual FDA documents that came out. It's a whole presentation done by the FDA. And I want to show this video right now. This is Mark Friesen. Mark Friesen ran...
You got Dr. Lulu riled up.
Dr. Lulu,
Look out,
Dr.
Ben.
Lulu's
Look
getting...
out, Ben. Look out.
Dr. Lulu is a real doctor, just so you know. She
Yes.
knows what she's talking about. She has researched COVID from the very beginning. And before I show this video from Mark Friesen, he ran for PPC out in Alberta. I want to share a story, a personal story of people that I personally know. I have friends in Ontario. Prior to about a week ago, Ontario made it mandatory to have a vaccine in order for the kids to play hockey. And so this young guy, he's 17 years old. He didn't want to get vaccinated, but he loved hockey, someone who had a potential future in hockey. And so he said, I have to get this. 17 years old, really healthy, super strong, hardcore hockey player. Like, you can't play hardcore hockey if you're not fit. He now has a cardiologist because after his jab, he had essentially a heart attack. And at 17 years old. And here's a story now from Mark Friesen.
Wait now, before you go there, wait now,
Yeah.
I want to touch on what you just said, because we just mentioned something about, you froze up there. No, there you are. You just mentioned something. We were talking about the predictive programming. They always tell you what's in advance. But I read an article maybe yesterday or the day before where they're talking about the double-edged sword of excessive exercising or something like that. How it can actually be dangerous
bad
for your health. So in my mind, my spidey sense went off right away, and I'm like, they're prepping for athletes and shit like that are probably affected. And we have seen quite a few examples of athletes now who have been affected.
Yep.
And I saw a video of a very young gentleman kind of warning other athletes that, be careful here. So for people to say nothing is happening drives me fucking nuts.
Again, Ben, you're not going to find this information on CBC. CBC is not going to write a negative article about the vaccine. They're specifically paid to not do this. Mainstream media is not where you find this information, because as soon as they write about it, they lose their funding. You need to look up VAERS. What is it? openvaers.org, I think. Let me just double check here. OpenVAERS. OpenVAERS lists all of the, whether it's side effects or actual deaths as well. Openvaers.com. OPENVAERS.com. Looking here right now, just on their front page.
That's U.S. stats.
These are U.S. stats, but again,
it's important.
They're important because you can replicate them all across every country.
Yeah. I'm just making
say,
sure we know.
No, this is to clarify for Ben. To say that this has happened in USA, who is using the same vaccinations as us, to say that this has happened in Israel and who is using the same vaccinations as us, but that for some reason magically it's not going to happen to us, is just silly. I'm sorry to say that, but it is.
You're right.
So
and I love how worked up you are. So let's do it. You're right.
on openvaers.com right now, we've got 1.519 million reports of vaccine adverse events. And so the thing with VAERS, I can pull this up. That's right. The thing with VAERS is that
not to order you around, Chris, but let's just show Ben what we're seeing here.
Scientists and doctors who use VAERS have all said that they believe that only between 1 and 10% of the sorry, I just got the right window here. Between 1 to 10% of actual adverse reactions are what is reported to VAERS. And the reason for that, which we've learned over the last 2 days, if you go to Project Veritas, they have an undercover video from a nurse in a hospital. One of the main reasons why doctors are not reporting to VAERS is because it takes 30 to 40 minutes to fill out the forms that they need to fill out when people have adverse reactions. And so they simply aren't doing it. And again, so that's Project Veritas. If you go to their website, I believe it's projectveritas.com. If you just Google, actually don't Google them because they're probably blocked by Google. Just do a search for Project Veritas.
They're on Twitters, they're on Gabs, they're everywhere. They're promoting, they get stuff out. They're actual investigative journalists.
Actual journalists who actually investigate. Like they have hidden cameras and all that sort of stuff. So they actually released reports. They released one today and one yesterday. The one yesterday was with a nurse, a federal employee nurse, who literally wore a camera and recorded different doctors and nurses who are frustrated and annoyed with this, saying that it's disgusting how they're not reporting any of these deaths, how they're not reporting heart attacks in 13-year-old kids. And then today's video was with I can't call him a man, he's an asshole, who works for the FDA, who literally said that he would go around because he was talking about how the black community is quite hesitant. I think something like 70% of the black community is hesitant to get the jab. And his recommendation as a federal employee of the Federal Drug Administration was to walk around with a blow dart and give it to them that way. And so, I mean, Project Veritas has a lot of these great undercover videos that they've done. You got to check them out. They're going to show you. Go.
Yeah, no. If there's any actual journalists out here that are working for anybody, and you're being, censored by your editor, because I think that's the main thing that's holding true journalists back is the editors. Go watch what these guys are doing. They're doing true journalism. They're true investigative undercover journalism, and it's. They still are an organization. They still presented, they still are trying to present a brand and all that in their message. Yeah. But they're doing amazing work. And if you want some inspiration out there, go check those guys out.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, we even see right here on the site, it says that the vaccine adverse event reporting system was put into place in the 90s. It is a voluntary reporting system that has been estimated to account for only 1% of vaccine injuries. And so that should be concerning. So if we're seeing 1.5 million adverse events, and that's only 1%, that should scare us. If we're seeing 14,000 COVID vaccine reported deaths, and that's only 1%, that should concern us. Because this is something that's happening all across the world, and people are just ignoring it. It's not even that they're ignoring it, it's that they're not being told. They don't see it. Because it doesn't affect them directly.
Yeah. And if these stats were on the TV and in the radio every single day, people would have some fear. And
they sure would.
And I'm not saying that everybody who has had this is going to be affected and in the same way. And I was looking at somebody sent me a video very recently about the different dosages of each brand. So Pfizer might have different levels of dosages. So one person is getting the 30 milligram and another person might be getting the 10 milligram. So there's a lot of difference. This is an actual study that is happening for the first time of this mRNA technology. This has never happened, and it really is
yes, it's been
experiment.
around since 92. We know that. It's just been around. They've been studying it since the 90s. It has not been used on humans until now.
This video is so not going to last on YouTube because we went way too much into the medical disinformation.
You know what I'll do? I'll remove it after we're done. That's how some of the guys have been combating their censorship. I'll remove it from YouTube and put it on Rumble.
Okay, Rumble. We're
moving things over there. So.
But now that we're on this, I want to actually mention about the SARS-CoV-1 actual studies that happened, because a lot of people probably don't know what had happened. I don't know if we actually talked about that on this stream before, but the SARS-CoV-1 vaccine was very successful on the ferrets, from my understanding, who they first tested on. The problem comes with a reinfection of a virus because the immune systems have been damaged. So that's when they all had the problems, was the second reinfection, which is why a lot of people are a little bit concerned about the coming flu season. Yes. Doctors and nurses and whatnot. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I'm actually still in denial about that whole thing. I don't think it's as bad as it is. I still have hope it's not going to be. I'm still in denial because that's just who I am. But I think it's a very real thing that people need to look into. And if you do not know it, like a particular individual may not in the chat room.
Well, Ben actually just said, I'll retract my statement. These are numbers that should give concern. I agree. So that's one of the problems, Ben, is that when people aren't presented with this information, and this is the conversation that you and I had on Saturday, we talked about how Dr. Morrison keeps talking about how 93% of our cases are unvaccinated. And I explained to you on Wednesday that, or on Saturday rather, that number is it's kind of skewed, because when I hear unvaccinated, I assume not vaccinated at all. But the reality is you're considered unvaccinated until after 14 days of your second jab. And so these numbers are so important to know, and that's why those numbers are important. It's important to know if we've got 93% unvaxxed, and only one of those is actually somebody who hasn't had a vaccine at all, then that's something that should be concerned for. Just like the numbers that we see in VAERS is something that we should be concerned for. And we're hearing more and more stories of people personally who are. I watched a video just last night of a mother who drove her daughter. Her daughter was like 17 or 18 years old. I was in tears watching this. She's driving her daughter to the hospital. Her daughter is like this in the chair. Perfectly healthy girl, no medical problems in her life. Only thing that had changed was that she got the jab. And this video is of her mom in tears driving her daughter to the hospital, apologizing, saying, "I'm sorry we let you do this." I'm like, these things need to be seen, but they are heavily censored. And that's why people don't know them. That's why people like when Dennis King said last week that he didn't know what VAERS was. I'm not one bit surprised that he doesn't know what VAERS is, because unless you take some time to look into the vaccine, you're not going to have a clue what VAERS is. The average person doesn't know what it is. No. But it's one of the main things that we should be looking at right now, because we're getting these wild reports all around of kids as young as 12, 13, and very soon we're going to, because Pfizer is now seeking emergency use authorization for ages 5 to 11. So now we're going to start to see 5-year-olds with heart attacks, and who's going to try and tell me that a 5-year-old should be having a heart attack that's healthy? It's just, these numbers need to be seen and they need to be put out there, but they're heavily censored.
There.
And that tells me that there's an agenda behind it. Let's check out this video.
I can't wait.
Okay. Yep.
I think it's important at this point to speak to those who have been vaccinated, because we do have people in our group that have joined us, and I don't want to create fear within everybody at this point when we talk about these very real facts. There's still math, there's still biology, there's still everything involved here. We're not saying that everybody's just going to drop dead or anything like that. All we're saying is that these numbers exist, and we need to make it aware that this exists, and the fact that it is censored is concerning. So
that's the concerning part.
We're not trying to say we need to panic and no. Please, we just have to be aware of this stuff so that we can, know that as boosters come along here, this is a program. It's not once you're vaccinated. It's once you enter the vaccination program. Yeah. So exactly. I just thought it was important that we mentioned that, Chris. If you know what I mean.
Important.
So I don't mean to keep interrupting the video here, but
let's hit it.
So let's do it.
What the fuck are we doing? I just watched. I'm not sure I've ever been this angry. I just watched Shannon, her video of her friends.
Shannon's another freedom fighter.
Friend who didn't want the vax. The premier mandated it. She got the vax, and now her heart is exploded, and she's in critical condition because of the vax. What the fuck are we doing? Mr. Mo, what the fuck are you doing? You're literally killing people. This isn't an isolated incident. There are kids dropping like flies all over the world. There are adults dropping like flies all over the world from this vaccine that you've now mandated. And the rest of you people, you just accept it because the government says so? Because the fucking media says so? While we watch our kids fucking die? Yeah, you're bloody right, I'm fucking pissed. And I don't care where this goes. I don't care who says or talks shit about me. What the fuck are we doing? Stop the insanity. Stop the genocide. Stop killing people by government dictate. This is insane. People's lives are being destroyed as we speak. People losing their jobs at 30 years as we speak because you mandated this poison. See you at the meeting tonight.
So that's so Shannon, the lady that he mentioned in there. She's another one of the people who's kind of doing the freedom fighting out in the Alberta area, or Alberta, Saskatchewan. Sorry, I can't remember where she is. But these are no longer distant stories that we are hearing of people who know people who know people who know people. These are people that we know directly. These are people whose families we interact with. These are people who we have over for supper or for a bonfire. And yet it's people just don't care. And it's
they don't know.
What was it? They don't know. Yeah. 2 or 3 weeks ago, I can't remember I think it was 3 weeks ago now. There was 100 kids aged 12 to 17 in the Toronto hospital for heart conditions. 100 teenagers. And you're like, try and tell me that that's just a coincidence? Perfectly healthy kids who played sports, who went to school, who did everything, now have cardiologists for the rest of their lives. Because if they, and in fact, the story that I told about earlier, about the family friend the 17-year-old who took the jab so he could play hockey, and now he has a cardiologist, he also can't play hockey because his heart is screwed.
Of course.
And if he overexerts himself, he's done. And it's yeah, Dr. Lulu said at this point, Harris, it's willful ignorance. I struggle with it because for the last 2 months I've said, you know what, at this point people should know. But I mean, Ben is in our chat. We had a great chat with Ben on Saturday.
We did, yeah.
Seems well educated. Seems to know, seems to have sources. He said he doesn't watch CBC, so obviously he has sources that are other than CBC. But even he wasn't aware that this was happening. And so I mean, I do believe that there are some that are, it's just willful ignorance. And then, there's that's the scene in The Matrix where Cypher says, ignorance is bliss, and that's why he wants out of the Matrix. But and so yes, I do think that some are willfully ignorant at this point. They don't want to know.
I definitely
don't
know
tell
some.
me. But there are still
willfully.
some that just don't they don't research like us, or they don't know to even, like, some of the sources that people like us use, they wouldn't even think to search for these things. And so it's, I do think some is ignorance, but they do bury this stuff really, really well. And so it can get hard. Like, we know where to go for that information because we've been going there, not just for 18 or 19 months, but a lot of us have been, on these shady parts of the internet for a long time.
Because we were banned on the other places.
Exactly.
We had to go find the other locations. So
exactly. And so we know where to go. We know that VAERS is a thing. We know where we can find the numbers. And we know the doctors who are actually trustworthy. So we know where to go. But a lot of people don't have that because they're maybe just getting on this train now. And not a train. Let's not use that metaphor. They're just jumping on board right now. And so, we need to, with someone like Ben, I was happy, on Saturday I gave Ben some recommendations of people to check out. And I hope you did. What was it? Carrie Mullis, I think, was the main one that I told you to check out.
Yes, that was a big one. With the
out.
PCR testing. If you didn't look up the PCR testing, tisk, tisk, tisk.
Yeah, that's, of everything we talked about, Ben, that's the main thing you need to watch. Carrie Mullis, PCR testing.
And Ben, seeing you're here, and thank you so much for joining us.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank
I love it.
everybody. Meeting you that day was very refreshing. We might have mentioned that several times that day, but if anybody else is listening who's not a supporter of us, let's say, Ben here came and spent like an hour or more.
I think it was almost 2 hours.
We almost talked
for 2 hours. It was great.
At the end of the protest. We were there for like till 4 o'clock or something, just talking to Ben and some other counter-protest people, which I guess will be in the third hour at this point, because we haven't even gotten to the resistance, and I need to talk about some of this that happened this week.
Yeah, indeed.
And you do as well. So Ben, I just wanted to say thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
You are an example of what I want society to be.
That's what society needs to be like.
We should be having dialogue, and you standing there and just riffing with us, it was actually fairly it was beautiful. It was
it restored some hope for me. I left I know we had a massive crowd on Saturday, which should have been enough to kind of give me hope, but I still I was kind of like, when I left, I actually left before the conversation with Ben started, and then I ended up coming back. But I
need more.
Yeah, but it was just like, I drove away kind of still feeling down. I was like, I don't know that we've done anything. And then when I came back and we had this conversation with Ben, I was just like, okay, if we got through to nobody other than Ben, who was willing to check some stuff out, then it was totally worth it. And that was fantastic.
And Ben, I'm sorry, I'm kind of picturing you showing up at the protest next week with your My Body, My Choice shirt on and just standing with us because you've come around to the light. You're an intelligent person, and whatever you choose to do in life, you seem like you're going to succeed in it. So I can tell by the level of, I don't know, you were just concerned about the conversation, and that we need more. So if there's anybody else out there, go talk to Ben on how to friggin' interact with society, man.
He knows how to do it. He knows how to talk to people who don't agree with him, and it's fantastic. We need more of it.
Yeah. And it was something I wanted to talk about anyway, so I'm glad you're here. Like, you would have been talked about anyway, so now we can actually talk to you, Ben. So thank you for joining us. And thank you, everyone, for joining us.
You guys are
on YouTube.
If you're in YouTube, or you're on Twitter, or you're on Twitch, here's what I'm seeing right now. I'm seeing 34 people on Twitch. Come on.
What?
Get over on Entropy.
Entropystream.
See, I get it. Some people like to just turn it on and listen, and they'll like do their work around the house. And YouTube and Entropy don't allow that. Twitch allows it, and so some people will bring up the stream and throw their phone in their pocket and do their housework or whatever it may be. And so
That's
I
a
get
great
it.
idea. Yeah.
It is, right? You don't quite feel like you're losing 3 hours of your life.
That's true. That's kind of why I encourage the chat. At least you're interacting and not just listening to us two idiots talk. And you're talking to some of the chat as we're.
Yeah, so you guys, if you're on Twitch though, and you're just hanging out on Twitch, come over to Entropy, entropystream.live / chriswtburke. I see that there's 2 people on YouTube. My assumption is that that's like anti-hate, because I don't think anybody uses YouTube anymore.
Hi, anti-hate. Can't wait till the next article.
Next article, when's it coming?
I might have a new nickname by then.
This time we'll call him Potato.
You idiots!
Government funding.
Having said that, Chris, in the third hour here, I do want to talk about the growing resistance to us, because we have seen a bit of an uptick in something this last Wednesday, and I think I really want to talk about that, and you might want to as well. And we need to start shining the light on all the darkness in all the areas of control. That goes for the not only the levels of government, we have levels of authority within police forces that there's probably thugs involved or whatever, and school boards and town councils. Like, we need to focus on all the darkness in all the areas, and you know, the school boards and the school is a big focus for us, because we just talked about the vaccine being rolled out to children soon, and obviously we have some concerns about the vaccine, and a lot of people do. So I kind of lost my train of thought, but either way, there is a resistance growing, and I want to talk a little bit about that. And we see it all over the world, what it's going to escalate into here if we're starting to see the little touches of it from society and authority. So
exactly, yeah. The thing, I mean, we've been saying this all year long. You know, there's a very specific pattern to how things happen. You know, they start in Australia, they seem to hit PEI, and then they kind of go elsewhere. And so,
they go from Australia to PEI.
Well, it's the islands, man. We're Alcatraz. You know, I was having this conversation with someone yesterday. Like, the only reason why Australia is currently in the state that they are in is because, number one, they're an island, and number two, they have no guns, so they have no way to resist.
It's probably two then one in some ways.
Probably.
Yeah.
And I mean, PEI, very similar. We are an island. I get that we have a bridge, but it's not too easy or not too hard for them to stop us from using the bridge. And based on the small amount of knowledge of guns that I have on PEI, there's not a lot here. And so it's easy to roll out and test all these things on us. Nat just said, this just distracted me, and I gotta say it, just got a report of a student in PEI who got jabbed and then rushed to the hospital. So
unconfirmed but breaking news.
Unconfirmed but breaking news, yeah.
But we hear that breaking news quite a bit, actually, and thank you for sharing. I mean, I don't like that we have to share this information, but we do, in I think part of our role, or whatever we're doing in this, what we're doing, Chris, we're not just talking to each other anymore. We're actually trying to get news out to a community, and to not just the community, to everybody. So
exactly.
And we rely on our beautiful community and our wonderful friends to help us with that. And thank you for being here and for helping us. So it sucks that we have to share that, but there is shit going on in this province, and it's a small province, and all of you are going to hear it soon. If you are not part of this community, you're all going to start hearing it soon. So I hate that we got to talk about it. I just realized I'm by myself again. Oh, it's that time. Did he just do that? I was looking at the chat room. Okay, anyway, here we are. So it is it's a heavy time, actually. For me, the last couple of days was pretty heavy, and I'm refocusing and focusing back to the community that I love so much, and what I started doing back when I first met Chris. And I've met a lot of people, and we're back to that now, and we're sharing information, and we're going from there. But part of what we're doing, we're having fun and enjoying entertainment, just like we're going to do now if Mr. Burke is ready, and I think he is. So thank you, Chris. Please stick around. We got another hour of us idiots talking. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for this, Mr. Chris.
Before I do the song, I just gotta say, Ben just said in the chat that the IRA did a lot with very little. Yes, they did, sir. We sing some IRA songs around here as well. Not this one, though. We're striking match matches on the TV, setting fires on our phones, bearing crosses we believe, and dying on. Tempers flare, the flame flies higher as we soar closer toward the sun. But I like to think that too much damage ain't been done. We're all so far apart now, and it's as deep as it is wide. And we're about to fall apart now if we can't reach the other side. We gotta find a way across the great divide. Sometimes it seems that our conditions, side of the fence that we stand on, makes us all too damn different to get along. But I've seen strangers love each other like a mother does her son. What we see ain't only all that's going on. We're all so far apart now, and it's as deep as it is wide. We're about to fall apart now if we can't reach the other side. We gotta find a way across the great divide. We're all so far apart now, and it's as deep as it is wide. We're about to fall apart now if we can't reach the other side. We gotta find a way across the great divide. Great divide. And since Ben was talking about the IRA, and since Harris was talking about an IRA song earlier to me today, I figured why not? We'll get you guys to get your onions out. He's shaking his head no. Sorry, guys. It's a sad one. But it should be a warning to us. We just talked about how it's fantastic to have Ben here in the chat and how he's willing to, have the conversations that most people aren't willing to have. And that's really the only way that our world's going to last. If we continue to do what's happening, where, your opinion is worthy of death, just because I don't agree with you, that's going to be a mess, and we're not going to be around for very long if that's how things are going. And that's kind of what this song is about. My song for you this evening, it's not to make you sad, nor for adding to the sorrows of this troubled northern land. Lately I've been thinking, and it just won't leave my mind. I tell you of two friends one time who were both good friends of mine. Alan Bell from Baina, he lived just across the fields. A great man for the music, the dancing and the reels. O'Malley came from South Armagh to court young Alice Fair. We'd often meet on the Ryan Road, and the laughter filled the air. There were roses, roses, there were roses, and the tears of the people ran together. Now Alan, he was Protestant, Sean was Catholic born. It never made a difference, for their friendship, it was strong. Sometimes in the evening when we heard the sound of guns, we said it won't divide us, we will always be as one. The ground our fathers plowed in, the soil is all the same. The places where we say our prayers, they just have different names. We talked about the friends who died, we hoped there'd be no more. 'Twas little then we realized the tragedy in store. There were roses, roses, there were roses, and the tears of the people ran together. It was on a Sunday morning when the awful news came round. Another killing had just been done outside Neary town. We knew that Alan danced up there, we knew he liked the band. But when we heard that he was dead, we just couldn't understand. We gathered at his graveside on a cold and rainy day. The minister, he closed his eyes, and for no revenge he prayed. But those of us who knew him from along the Ryan Road, we bowed our heads and said a prayer for the resting of his soul. There were roses, roses, there were roses, and the tears of the people ran together. Now fear, it filled the countryside. There was fear in every home. When the car of death came prowling round the lonely Ryan Road, a Catholic would be killed tonight to even up the score. Oh Christ, it's young old Mally they've taken from the door. Alan was my friend, he cried, and he begged them with his fear. But centuries of hatred have ears that cannot hear. An eye for an eye was all that filled their minds, and another eye for another eye until everyone is blind. There were roses, roses, there were roses, tears of the people ran together. So my song for you this evening, 'twas not to make you sad, nor to add to any sorrows in this troubled northern land. But lately I've been thinking, and it just won't leave my mind, to tell you of two friends one time who were both good friends of mine. And I don't know where the moral is, or where this song should end, but I wonder just how many wars are fought between good friends. Those who give the orders are not the ones who died. It's Bell and O'Malley and the likes of you and I. There were roses, roses, there were roses, and the tears of the people ran together.
Fuck you. Fuck. Oh my God. I want to talk to Ben right now because what I get from that is I don't want an eye for an eye for an eye for an eye. I don't want that. And I'm this whole time and meeting this community and meeting this in the last 15 years of my life, I know that a revolution has to be peaceful. It has to be not vindictive. It has to not be. But you saw that clip earlier, and with the hustlers and the lions being bitten at, and it just makes me sad that society is just tearing each other apart when what we need to do is talk, like we did with Ben that day. And we don't need the eye for an eye for an eye for an eye for an eye when we know what the fucking problem is.
Yep.
We're gonna just tear fucking each other apart as they divide us more and more and more and more and more. And there'll be lots of motherfucking roses. Thanks, motherfucker.
Sorry, man. I felt like it was a fitting song.
You're not a motherfucker, by the way. You're a wonderful human, and thank you. Thank you for those tunes. Thank you so much, and I appreciate it.
Kara said, "Why don't you do another sad song after this one?"
Yeah, just tear her. You don't know how much I cried. Like I spent the morning. I listened to that song earlier, and I thought I was going to make it through then, but nope. There's connections there too, with not just the song, like home. And is everybody making fun of me? I'm not reading the chat.
No, I'm just reading. Quick Dub just said, "Now do a little Armalite." That's coming next week. Just ordered today. That comes next week. Thanks, by the way, bigots. I appreciate that. That was you guys paid for that for me. You guys are awesome.
Thank you guys for being here. Bigots, non-bigots, haters, Antifa, community. I love you all, and even
Free
you.
R. Kelly in my chat. Somebody just wrote "Free R. Kelly" on Twitch.
I may not love that person.
We're not gonna love that person. Wow.
Who said that?
I guess it takes all kinds to make the world go around.
We said it's a diverse group. We
It
did
is.
say it's diverse. So welcome.
Yeah.
Whatever if you're standing on the right side, I love you. And you know what? I still love a lot of the people that are not standing on the right side. And, I'm having a hard time thinking if I'm ever going to forgive people based on some reactions, but I know that that's wrong too. So I'm struggling, man. But thank you guys, everyone, for being here. If you're on the old YouTubes and the Twitchies and the Periscopies, get
You know where to go.
over to the Entropy stream, please. There's lots of wonderful people in here chatting, making fun of me for crying and stuff. So it's great, and I love all you guys. Hello, Jen, Quick Dub. There's people I've never seen before with names.
Never seen that name.
GD
Jambalaya. Is
Jambalaya?
that Jambalaya? That's not how you spell Jambalaya, but I do love some good down south.
Hey, Slippin', I didn't
Straight
know
up.
you were there. That's cool.
Slippin's been here for a while. He's a dude.
Oh, yeah. I've been enjoying music and probably ranting about whatever it was that I was angry about a minute ago. But, we touched on a lot of stuff that we didn't even think we were going to talk about tonight, and with the vaccines and stuff. But I think it's important for us to talk about that now. And whether or not this video ever gets replays because it gets taken down, I don't care at this point. You guys are all here.
You guys got to experience it and enjoy it and have a good time. So
exactly. And honestly, I don't even know if how long we're going to last and maybe this is a great time to bring all this up now, because I definitely think that censorship is going to come hammering on a lot of us very, very
soon.
Quickly. We're seeing it all around the world, and we saw the patterns in the United States and stuff on who gets banned. And if the president of the United States can get banned on social media and deplatformed, anybody on the friggin' planet, except maybe, terrorist groups and stuff that are still allowed.
Yeah,
to be
they're
on Twitter.
fine.
They're totally
cool. Taliban, you guys can stay.
Stay on
totally
Twitter.
Okay. A pastor who talks to his atheist friend in his office, though, look out.
Gone.
Banned from YouTube, other than the backup account. But I mean, the thing that I like, we obviously we talked a lot prior to the summer about was it Bill C-16? C-16? There's so many bills now.
C-10 and C-36.
C-10 and C-36. Thank you. Which one was C-16? I don't even know. But and so
it's a plane, isn't it?
No, I think it had something to do with veterans. Actually, now that I think of it. But now that the election is over, there's a good chance that we see those conversations come back. We said working up to the election, we're not going to see anything drastic. We're not going to see any big moves on a federal level because that's going to damage the campaign.
And they tried what they tried with the BLC-10 and C-36, and that failed. So unfortunately, they had to deal with the social media presence that thankfully we had, basically.
Yeah. And so here we are now. Election's over. I mean, that C-10 was one of Trudeau's big babies. Like he wants this thing to happen, and so I anticipate very soon, if not within the next few days, we'll start to see conversations about it again, because they have a couple more seats than they did last time, and a little more sucking up to the NDP. So they're probably at the point where they know that they could likely get it pushed through, or pretty darn close to it. Conservatives aren't going to help us at all, as we've learned. They're just going to vote in favor of it anyway.
And of course they will, because they're only going to censor people that are opposing them as well. So of course they're going to be for it.
Yeah, and so that'll be.
We'll see that rise, but we're even.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't even matter because the platforms are for the globalists. So
they are. Yeah.
Twitter is already censoring Maxime Bernier.
Yeah, even if C-10 doesn't go through, Twitter's going to do it on their own.
Exactly. They
Facebook's
did it today.
Going to do it. They're going to exactly. They deleted. Go for it. What was it? I didn't really follow the story. What was it that happened?
Well, I only caught wind of it just briefly, but apparently Max put out a tweet about those idiot journalists, and all the journalists apparently got a lot of hate mail from random people that apparently indicate that is Maxime Bernier and his group of people, so they deleted those tweets. They locked his accounts until basically he would remove them, but I guess he didn't, and they just removed those tweets. So now the big story is the media is facing this huge, influx of emails with all this hate email with this inflammatory and hateful language, and of course anybody could send a friggin' email.
And those email addresses were public. They weren't private emails. They were their public media journalist emails. It's not like he published secret emails that people didn't know about.
No, it reminds me of that demonization thing that happened with the that Irish pub, or what was it called, the Old Triangle, that got some phone calls from random people, and all of a sudden that was their reason to shut it all down. So anybody, Hillary Clinton could have sent those friggin' emails saying that Maxime Bernier is a friggin' idiot from some random email address. So I'm not saying that that's what it is. There probably was some people that took Max's thing. I wanted to.
I have no doubt that they would.
I'm not a fan of the media right now.
No,
they're useless, and
their email addresses are public.
Exactly.
They are not hidden email addresses. What he did wasn't wrong. He publicized public information. What other people did with it beyond that, again, I have my doubts, but I'm sure there were probably some people who sent emails calling them fake journalists or whatever it may be.
Of course, yeah.
But just as easily as one of us who follows Max could pick up that email and send an email, somebody who follows anti-hate or Antifa or whatever could just as easily grab that email, run to temp mail, which takes you press a button and you have a new email address.
You just gave I didn't know about that. Why did you tell me about
dude,
temp
I
mail?
love temp mail. I use anytime I sign up for stuff on the internet, I always use temp mail because it's just a fake email address. It stays active until you close the website. And so like how some sites have like you have to click on a verification link or whatever. Well, you can do that all through temp mail. But like to say, and I mean in the brief reading of the article that I did, to say that this is unequivocally Maxime Bernier supporters who were sending emails complaining about the journalists or whatever the emails said, it's just wrong. You can't say that because you don't know that. There are literally campaigns online where people try to make us look bad. There's no reason why they wouldn't have just activated their people and said, hey, look, Max did something stupid. Let's utilize it. Exactly. Not that it was stupid. He just published an email address. And so to say that it was Max's supporters unequivocally...
He said something about fight dirty or something like that too, so maybe that was wrong. I don't know. But either way, the media is against us, and we need to get through... my tactic is trying to get... Not tactic, but my goal is to get through to the real journalists, you know? Yep. But we also have to shine the light on the stupid friggin' idiots that are controlling us, you know? And there's some horrible people in the media, and I don't blame it all on the anchors and all on the actual journalists. I blame it mostly on the editors that are in control. Yep. The publishers, you know, they're the ones
and the directors and the ones who tell them what stories to take. And
exactly. So, I mean, if there are, again, I keep on saying, if there's journalists out there that you're being censored, you can get your story out there. You know this by now. You don't have to be stupid.
We've had private conversations with journalists here on the island where we've told the true story of stuff that's going on, and it never gets told. We still get deemed as the crazy anti-vaxxers, the crazy anti-maskers, the crazy whatever. We've had
frustrating
good conversations with some of these people where you think coming away from it, you know what, he might actually tell the truth. Mm-hmm. But then Stuart doesn't. Stuart?
That would be
Stuart,
nice.
I had hope for you, man.
I did too. And maybe he's working on a story. Who knows? But there's another particular young journalist in the province that I reached out and said, I'm super interested in protest movements and stuff. And this was during the hospital protest, and I think he's the one that wrote the story of the few people that showed up. But it's just the stories aren't being covered. There was a protest on Wednesday, which it was quite significant, really, with the response that happened. And we did. Yeah. I know I reached out to the media. I know a lot of people called them directly. And nobody told that story. But for some reason, there was probably a great little initiative tonight in Charlottetown with the Take Back the Night thing, which, you know, that is an important thing as well for women to feel safe in the community. So that's great. But for whatever reason, that got a bunch of coverage on Twitter and articles and stuff. But for whatever reason, whenever there's a protest with regards to what we're talking about, and there's been many for a whole year now, nobody ever covers it. So that to me is fishy. That the stuff that they don't tell is just as telling as what they do tell.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's what I was talking about kind of earlier in regards to things like VAERS and in regards to things like 100 kids with myocarditis in the hospital in Toronto. Like, these numbers don't get told. The opposite side gets pushed like crazy, and they'll all these things.
Vastly incorrect numbers get pushed by premiers.
Yes.
Do we have that clip? I would like to get that out here right now, because I don't know if anybody in this chat room has seen this, but at a recent protest, not the last one, not the Saturday one, but I believe it was a week. What I'm saying is that the pressure is going to keep increasing here as people become more desperate and more find
people
their
are losing
voices.
jobs, and
Yes.
so that's making people stand up more.
This is part of it, and one of these protests, we did get some information. Finally, the premier came out and talked to us, and he was supposed to come back on the Saturday protest, but he did not come. We also, by the way, if audience don't know, we have sent him a formal invite to the old podcast here after our conversation with Maxime Bernier, and especially after the incident that we're going to show you here now with the protest. But they denied. He's too busy, apparently. Yeah, he's too busy, apparently. But I'm going to follow up to that eventually, and because I really want an answer to this question that pops up after this video. And if you haven't seen this, please listen carefully to what the premier of this province.
This is the
says.
man who is leading the charge right now. The man who is telling us what to do. The man who is bringing in our mandates. This was a conversation he had last week, a little over a week ago now. With somebody who works in the medical field who lost their job, and this is just one tiny little clip of the whole. There's about a
like
20
minutes.
17 19 minutes video which I've posted to Rumble. I posted it to YouTube and got banned. That's the reason why I'm banned right now, is because of the interview with Dennis King. The first one was a video from Dr. Christensen, who was fired. All he did was read the informed consent information. I got banned for that video, and then I got banned for the extended version of this video. But this is just a clip to show you guys what we're dealing with.
This is our
here at
premier.
BEI.
This is our premier.
Leading the charge.
So why is not every professional that's putting their lives at risk of this disease not wearing an N95 mask? I definitely wasn't wearing one around the elderly. Wow. But it's a deadly disease that could wipe them out, right?
Well, it
deadly
seems to
disease
be,
that
yeah.
could
I
wipe
mean,
them out, right?
Who
says it's
millions of people across the world.
How many people
500,000 or more in Canada have died.
How many died of the flu in
I don't know.
2018?
You can't answer us because
Same amount.
I don't know.
Well,
No, there's been no flu death.
don't know.
This year, no that.
How many people died of COVID?
This year in Canada,
Yeah,
593,000 or something like that.
25,000.
No, 593,000.
No. 26,000. It's
Check
going up to
theirs.
27,000 now.
Just to quote that,
593,000 this year.
this year
This
in Canada,
year in Canada.
593,000.
And then
That's
says
the
it
quote.
like you can't even say that he goofed
Repeated
up in what he was saying, because he repeated it 3 times.
I'm pretty sure there's 3 times. Let's watch it again. Let's give the audience that little clip again.
That little
thing. Because
piece of
this is
joy.
the premier that has made all his decisions based on information that he has. And if he thinks this...
How many people?
500,000 or more in Canada have died.
500,000 or more?
In 2018.
You can't answer us because
Same amount.
I don't know.
Well,
No, there's been no flu death. This year, no that.
How many people died of COVID?
This year in Canada,
Yeah,
593,000 or something like that.
25,000.
No, 593,000.
No.
Check
26,000. It's
Check
going up to
theirs.
27,000 now.
Check theirs.
Check theirs. I don't know what that is. Check theirs. I don't know what that is.
So, looking at that video, he did not slip that up. It was 3 times he confirmed the over 500,000. 2 times he confirmed 593,000.
This
Am I
year.
right? This year. So, do we...
For the record, it's 26,000 and something.
It's
just
probably
for
up to
those.
28 now, probably, or something like that. 27, I think, is the last time I looked. If we want to get really technical and look it up, but what I find hilarious, and COVID Island, you are like, no, it's 26,000.
Canada deaths, 27,581 right now.
Exactly. So again, our premier said 593,000 this year, but the total of the entire pandemic is
27,651.
Yeah. So.
And so if you that scares me Because
me.
I think to myself, if I thought 500,000 people died this year alone, I would be a lot more drastic with how my family interacts with the public and the COVID rules and all that sort of stuff. Because
And if I was the premier, I'd make different decisions.
exactly, you would be more strict because you think 500,000 people have died this year. If you told me 25,000 people have died since this started almost 2 years ago, well, that's
bad.
drastically
It's
different.
still-
It sucks, but I mean, they were likely people that were going to die anyway.
Probably.
Most of them were over the age of 72. Most of them had 2.3 comorbidities. So good chance, like that's meaning diabetes, or they
Yeah,
already
I know.
have heart disease, or they already have. I'm just saying
It's a
these
lot.
random
I know, for the-
things.
no,
in the
it's
event
good
that
to
there's
say,
people in
'cause
chat who don't know, because I know
There's
there
a
are people that don't.
but comorbidities is a term that I even discovered based on research in this over the last year. You know what I mean? So it is a good term to get out there because it definitely is a real thing that is a factor in the COVID deaths. You know, it has been older people, it has been people with multiple conditions for the most part.
And like major conditions that would kill old people if they had the flu too. You know,
Exactly.
remember that flu, that thing that we once upon a time had.
Don't remember that.
Like
What's that?
things like obesity, things like heart conditions and stuff like that. If you are say above 70 and you are obese and you get the flu, there's a much higher chance of that taking you out
Exactly.
than if you were 72 and healthy. It's like these comorbidities are I know that they are paid attention to by people like us, but they're simply not taught. I mean, even in
It's
the
just a
realm
stat.
of vaccination deaths, it's never that had something to do with the vaccine. It's well, he was obese or he had a heart attack, or well, he was perfectly healthy in 17. Why did he have a heart attack? Because of the vaccine. And so it's like those comorbidities are so important because
It is.
most of them are deadly on their own. When you have multiples of them and you add something that's altering your DNA, that's not going to be good for you.
No, and it's not good. And it's important to focus on that, but it's also important to know just the actual stat, which is not 593,000.
Not
it's
even close.
27,000. And our premier, I don't know whether he's just so stupid that he just doesn't know, or he's being fed incorrect information. And I keep on thinking, you know, there's only one person in charge in this province right now.
Tater.
And everybody we talk to, every school board person, whoever, they all say it's
Talk
public
to Heather.
health orders.
Talk to Heather Morrison.
Talk to Heather.
When I first
Talk to Heather.
contacted the school board, when I first called the school board about my kids being allowed to go maskless in school, sounds like you need to talk to Heather Morrison. When I talk to the principal, sounds like you need to talk to Heather Morrison. When you talk to Dennis King, he says, I get all my information from Heather Morrison. And so...
reaching out to UPEI contacts or
Yep.
Holland College, they all say, talk to
Dr.
Heather
Morrison.
Morrison. And again, we've all tried to talk to Heather Morrison, and she will not respond to any of us,
Nope.
to letters that were professionally written, to emails that I know she's getting. And I know there's freedom of information requests to try and get all the emails that have been sent to and from her, but that keep being delayed. So, I mean, there is censorship happening here, and we need to get to the bottom of why our premier believes 593,000 people died in Canada this year. I think we need an answer to that, and I know none of the friggin' media are going to ask that question. So,
No, and the thing that I found funny about that number was, like, it wasn't even like he was mixing it up with cases, or like, because the cases are like through the roof. Like it had to be a number that he was told. That was a very specific number.
509 is not 500-ish. It wasn't.
Nope.
It was
593,000.
593,000. It's weird.
But
It's
when
very
you look
weird.
at Canada's stats, there's nothing that's around the 500,000 mark.
No.
The vaccines
It's
are
really
up
weird.
over 1 million. Like, it's bizarre.
We might be belaboring this a bit, but I think it's very important that we get this information out there and pressure an answer to why he knows this.
Yep.
And he's never going to come to a protest again. That's
No.
for sure. He's never going to, it's just, we're those people that he's afraid to put the mandatory measures in because we'd freak out, basically. We're not going to freak out, but he mentioned that in the video that you said earlier,
Yeah,
that
he said,
showed her.
something along the lines of, like, I know there's a certain sect of people that I know no matter what we say, they are not going to get it. And it's like, well, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and he's being careful not to overstep his thing, because it will just. That's why they do the boiling frog. They piecemeal it in so that people don't react majorly to a major change. So, it was the mass, it was the slip in this, slip in that, and then confuse everybody with the yay summer, and then no, smacked in the face again.
Tourists are gone now,
and then again, take away Christmas and do it all again. So we've just been smacked.
I sure hope people noticed that the masks came back as soon as tourist season ended.
Yeah.
Like, come on, people.
I know. People got to just realize
this had nothing to do with cases. Kids went back to school every September. I have a grade 5 and a grade 8. Every September from kindergarten. There are always kids sick in September. You've been away from people for 2 months. You're now being introduced to new germs. Kids get sick.
Kids get sick.
And yet, here we are. People got to wear masks again.
We're doing it all again. Same old crap. But I just noticed the time there, Mr.
Yeah, we're running low here.
This last time, but I do want to talk about what happened on Wednesday. And
yes.
Okay, it's kind of started on Saturday where we saw a counter movement across the street with pretty much just Instagram girls doing Instagram-y girl things, right?
That's
but we also realized they had no idea that any information either. They didn't know the deaths in Canada and all that stuff. They knew nothing. But they were bratty little. I don't know if I want to call them bratty. They were just
like
something.
17 to 25-year-old would be my guess. They were there to get pictures for Instagram, and
it was what it was. And we talked to them a bit. I wanted to get their perspective, and I listened to them. And then somebody that was part of the protest came over and shared their horrendous story about why they can't get a vaccine because of their health issues, and trying to just tell them that people have reasons, for not getting this. And they didn't listen, of course. Maybe she got through a couple of them a bit, and some of them were very respectful as well in that group. I want to, if they happen to be watching, some of you were very respectful. Some tried the tactic of shut you down with name calling and stuff.
I recognized some of them from other protests.
We know who they are.
And
really,
alleyways.
Probably. Yeah.
They're not so great at disguising themselves.
No. And, we're taking pictures and stuff as well because we want to be protecting of the violence out there that is coming towards us. And we are seeing a lot of anger and hate speech and even some violence. And I wish I kind of want to go back and get the video footage from a few protests ago when I heard that somebody was assaulted, spit in the face and whatnot before the cops were not called, but about to be called. But I kind of want to get the footage and kind of call out that person. But we are seeing a lot of resistance right now from not only society, but through authority as well. And we saw that with one, I got to mention the one brave, probably Antifa member who stood up in front of the protest in front of 200 people and had her vaccine save lives sign. And that was pretty brave of one individual to do, and I want to acknowledge that because I don't know if I would have had the guts to do that.
No.
So, she was wrong, and she was
but good on you
in the
for having balls to do it.
She was in the traffic for most of the time, and
Yeah.
the cops were called to remove her from the road, and that was kind of funny. But I will say that was brave of you if you were out there, and I don't know if you proved anything, and most of the pictures that I saw had you in it, but you just looked like part of the crowd. So
yeah, you didn't look like you were. I'll be honest with you. So I was told on Friday that there were going to be people joining us who were pro-vax and were pro-mask, but they wanted to join us because they were against the passport. And so when I got there, I assumed that that's what this person was. I assumed that they were just a really bold person who was in favor of the vax, but not in favor of the passport. And then I read her sign and was like, oh, okay. Nope. You're legit here to counter protest us. Cool.
Yeah. And you know what? I kind of feel that day, as soon as I arrived that day, I felt, this is one of the counter days. I know it. It was in my. I said it to everybody. I was very hyper aware of people taking pictures of us, and that's what we got to do, guys. People who are listening to me and us and are part of this, when you're in protests, be hyper aware of counter movements and people photographing you and trying to catch you in situations. They will try to antagonize you. I understand that at that moment that the antagonization happened with the saltish thing, that there was a person there with an actual legit camera to catch that moment. So you got to pay attention to all this stuff and be aware of what happens at protests, especially as they become larger. There will be games played, there will be a counter movement, and there will be authority that become increasingly aggressive. So
Caper in the chat said PEI has Antifa. Yes, we do. Everywhere does. I mean, they're pathetic. It's like 10 people. The guys are exactly what you would expect them to be. Soy boys with balaclavas on their faces. Like, they did this thing on Canada Day down at our armories where they burnt a Canada flag that they couldn't even light on fire, which was really hilarious. But like, they were all masked, and like there was 2 of them. But like, it's a group from UPEI. They're called the Hive. They're also called, they have 2 names, the Hive and MAKO. Was it Masses Against Capitalist Oppression, I think is what it is. They're pathetic. They try to make fun of us on Twitter and stuff. And
I kind of think MAKO is just the rebranding of Antifa now, because
it
Antifa, you know what I mean? That's all it is. It's sort of
like
Pfizer and AstraZeneca and all that just did,
They use they tag buildings and stuff with the hammer and sickle. Like they're straight up Antifa. It is what they are.
It is what it is. But yes, they do exist here.
They exist. We just don't worry about them.
And I like to point out that this counter movement are the violence in society. All we've been trying to do is show love and kindness and understanding and truth. But we're being lots of vulgarity, lots of vile nature, a lot of the people that want to segregate us are also very hateful towards us, and it's starting to brew into a violence that I'm starting to get a little bit worried about for my friends. So I think everybody should be hyper, not fearful, just hyper aware of tactics. I think that comes from the counter movement. And I want to touch on Wednesday as well, because Wednesday was a big protest that happened randomly. Again, Angie, and the Freedom for, what is it called? Standing for Freedom group. Yeah. They've been standing forever. And she had enough after the Tuesday meeting right after the election, and they said this is all coming, and they decided to go where exactly Premier King told them in one of the last things. They said, don't go at the hospital, just come to this building, you do your protests here. And they all did again on Wednesday. I'm very proud. And there's some new individuals there that used their voice on the mic that I was very surprised about seeing, and it was very important for some of these people. It's unfortunate I don't have any clips right now. We didn't get a chance to get any of that. But
I'm just checking. I think I clipped one.
Do you? Okay.
I'm just checking. I might not have clipped it.
But if not, it doesn't matter, because we don't have a whole lot of time to get through this anyway.
I do have the interaction though, at the very beginning.
Okay, for when because I want to talk about the authority. I want to mention that as this gets more heated and stuff, the authority more than likely will start becoming a little bit more aggressive in their measures. And it probably is, I don't think it's all authority. I'm an individualist, so I don't look at all police forces as one unit and they're all the same. I believe there's individuals in there that are so awesome, and I'm trying to reach them. I want you to listen to us. We need your help. But there's also massive bullies and massive thugs that exist, and I believe those are the ones that will be sent to protest to instigate and get a reaction that they need to have to shut stuff down. So I believe that Wednesday there was an example of an increased aggression from particular authority figures, and I don't know if you have that, but
yeah, I do.
I would like to show that, because it's important to not only shine a light. Like I said, we got to shine a light on all the darkness, on all the places, and these thugs are the ones that will be out enforcing the rules for the mandates. So I want to.
You should be standing here for the people, with the people. You took an oath to protect the people. What property? Isn't the church for everyone? Is the church not for everyone? There you go. We're on the sidewalk.
This is this past Wednesday.
There we go. Getting arrested now, I guess. From the law.
Forward a little here.
So step off the.
Sure. That's right. That's all
I
I've
don't know
asked
why
you
you're
to
so
do.
heated.
That's all I've asked you to do is stand off the property.
Okay, I asked you guys to charge them with crimes against humanity. Will you do that?
No.
Why? Under orders?
So they were literally standing. So there's a sidewalk, and then there's about 8 inches of grass, and then there's a hedge.
Mm-hmm.
In an attempt to not be rude and block the sidewalk, they were standing on the 8 inches of grass, and the cops were called.
And he came in hot. That
he came
older,
in hot.
Very hot, very aggressive, very angry. Get off the thing. And the younger guy was just as much of a prick. I'm going to say it. These two individual cops, I do not trust these two individuals. And I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble with this, but what I witnessed that day, and it's unfortunate, guys, if you're out there and 4 vehicles, I believe, at least responded that day to 12 people, from what I understand. So these guys came in hot. You got to ask for names. You got to get badge numbers if you can. We need to start tracking who it is that's bad elements of our society that you need to look out for. And when a cop is asked their name, the response should never, ever, ever be, "Don't worry about it." And I don't know if you have that there, but the younger gentleman that was with the other aggressive guy,
I thought I did, but I don't.
He responded to Angie with exactly that. When asked, "What is your name?" he said, "Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're supposed to and have to give their names when asked.
Yeah, I haven't verified. So this was Charlottetown Police. I haven't verified their policy, but I do know that most police organizations across Canada have it in. It's not a law, but they have it in their policy that if they are asked for their identification, that they do need to give it, and that is both their name and their badge number.
That's what I thought. And we have to keep in mind that not just a year and a half ago, we had some crazed person pretending to be a cop, and he killed several people, if everybody wants to remember that. So it's highly important that we know who is dressed up as authority and that they actually are the authority, especially when they're aggressive, thug-feeling people. So I have a feeling that these particular individuals were sent to the protest because they are particular individuals to do a certain thing. And I feel that Angie was going to get arrested that day. If other things didn't happen to stop that, I feel she was going to get taken away. So please, guys, when you're at protests and authority arrive, do not respond to their aggressive tactics, because that's what they want to shut it down. Do not get involved in that. Just speak your truths, and also always get the name and get them on camera. Get multiple camera angles if you can. We need to start realizing that aggression appears to be increasing. I feel it, and I seen it that day, and I don't know how I would have felt if I was in the presence of such aggression from people who are supposed to be protecting us. So please, it's got to be smart time now, everyone.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Like I had when I saw what was happening, I had contemplated going in. I thought they need their help.
They do.
But there are some people that do. I'm a target. Like, they know me, they don't like me, and so I have no doubt that had I gone in, it just would have progressed to probably more problems than it is.
I feel the same way. Yes.
Yeah, but so that's why I know I've seen COVID Island say it a couple of times in the chat. We need everyone there Saturday. People need to, like, all of these protests. We need as many people as we can, because you know what? When 10 people show up, it makes us look pathetic. I'll be honest, it really does. It makes it look like we're a bunch of just crazy Alex Jones tinfoil hat wearers. If you want people to take us serious, we gotta be there. It does. It bums me out because it says to me that it's just not important enough. Exactly. And that doesn't, not to say that I get to every single one, but I do try. I live an hour away, and I have a family as well, and I know it's the same for everybody else. But when you can, you've got to get out to these. Are we going to change the world with one protest on Saturday? No, not likely.
But it's about keeping the pressure and keeping our presence. Yeah.
We can't say the election has ended and now we just stop. Now our hope is gone, because we can't. No. We just can't do that, because they're going to keep pushing harder and harder and harder and harder and harder.
And we're all on a hill now, and I know most of the people in this chat are on this hill, and we're going to die on this hill, and we're not backing down, and this is why we're saying come and get it. We're not. It's FUMM. It's and we all have to realize that in order for us to do that, it has to be civil disobedience. It has to be disobeying these orders. It has to be going to these restaurants or whatever, like we're seeing in Toronto and in Ontario, where they're just going into the Eaton Centre or whatever and eating in mass groups just to say, look, I just want to eat here. What am I doing wrong? And it's important that we all do that as groups, but also as individuals. Don't be afraid to approach a business and just see if it's okay. Just ask them if you're going to be segregated or not. Or for me, I'm not even asking the question. If somebody asks me about my vaccine status, it's none of their business. Either way, we have to stick together. Please show up to the protests. Please help these brave individuals that are standing, and please start using their voices. I'm starting to see a lot of brave people starting to do that now, and we really need you to do that. Young people, start talking to your students. Please, teachers, get talking to Standing for Students here. There's organizations that are here trying to help. So please, please, please. Chris, I see you're ready. Let's get some tunes.
Somebody's selling a new religion. Somebody's selling a lie. Somebody wants all the strife and division that's driving us out of our minds. They're telling the world not to trust their own eyes. They're telling the people they're wrong. They're keeping the truth for their power and gain, and taking whatever we've got. Some of you eat all the lies you've been fed. Some of you just go along, training acceptance inside of your head to give them whatever they want. You're leaving your brothers and sisters behind. You're told it's the best thing to do. You're shutting out friends 'cause you're told that's what's right. Now they win because all of us lose. And it's so sad watching these times as they change. And it's so bad. The battle's been violent and strange as they lock us indoors in a prison of this silent war. Someone is trying to sell you the cure, the same one who made the disease. They'll try to convince you and make you feel sure, but hey, there's no guarantees. They covered your mouth and they tied back your hands. They did it to all of the kids. And nobody knows all the damage that's done, and won't ask until the master permits. And it's so sad watching these times as they change. And it's so bad. The battle's been violent and strange. We all shout behind doors in a prison of this silent war. So take back your freedom and fight for your life. Stand up before it's all gone. And take back your freedom and fight for your life. And stand up before it's all gone. 'Cause it's so sad watching these times as they change, and it's so bad. The battle's been violent and strange. We can't let them take more. We can't let them win this silent war. So take back what is yours. Don't let them win this silent war. Played that song in a pub last week, and this old lady came up to me afterwards. She was drunk out of her ass. She came up to me and she said, "They're not gonna beat us." Thought it was pretty great. Crazy old lady who knew exactly what I was singing about. Well, my bigoted friends, you know what you got to do. Rise to your feet for this final tune. We'll pull Harris back in here in just a moment. Make sure you guys stick around for Super Conspiracy Thursdays. We'll get on for that, throwing in the chat. Matt and Phil, ECC and Phil Brown, are going to show you guys what's going on in the world. When there's nothing left but the fire in my chest and the air that fills my lungs, I'll hold my tears and trade my years for a glimpse at kingdom come. On the other side of misery, there's a world we long to see. The strife we share will take us there to relief and sovereignty. Oh, by God, we'll have our home again. By God, we'll have our home. By blood or sweat, we'll get there yet. By God, we'll have our home. In our own towns, we're foreigners now. Our names are spat and cursed. A headline smack of another attack, not the last and not the worst. Oh, my fathers, they look down on me. I wonder what they feel to see their noble sons driven down beneath the coward's heel. Oh, by God, we'll have our home again. By God, we'll have our home. By blood or sweat, we'll get there yet. By God, we'll have our home. The road is dark, the way is lost. My eyes, they strain to see. I struggle forth to find a friend to light the way for me. Oh, brothers, can you hear my voice, or am I all alone? If there's no fire to guide my way, then I will start my own. Oh, by God, we'll have our home again. By God, we'll have our home. By blood or sweat, we'll get there yet. By God, we'll have our home. Oh, by God, we'll have our home again. By God, we'll have our home. By blood or sweat, we'll get there yet. By God, we'll have our home.
That's my cue to come in here. I was typing in the chat and I didn't catch it in there. Chris, man, oh man, you are one talented son of a bitch. Jealous sometimes, you know. It's great. It's thank you so much for that, and thank you everyone for checking us out again. This was number 8 of Faith and Liberty. I'm Harris. I'm gonna bring Chris back in when he gets settled here, and we'll say a little so long. And there he is. There he is. Oh boy, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for all the chatters. And even on the YouTubes and the Twitches and the old Periscopes, hi to you too, I guess.
Hi to you guys.
Please go to Entropy Stream, click the little bell or whatever the hell you say, and make sure you're subscribed so that you get notified when all this community, click everybody's channels. I couldn't find East Coast Canadians there, Chris, by the way. Maybe he's not up yet.
He might not be live yet, yeah.
So I'll just toss out the YouTube channel so that you guys know that one. He should be there eventually here. Maybe he's not streaming tonight. I haven't even heard. But
I don't
either
even
way,
know.
Give it a follow. Very funny, very talented, and again, is aware, is a community member, is an other, just like all of you.
Exactly. Alrighty, guys.
Diagonal
Thank y'all
now.
so much. We
Thank
will
you.
see you next week. I'll be back tomorrow night for the East Coast Kitchen Party, 7 o'clock.
And Rage is back tomorrow too. Let's mention
ECC is totally censored and having internet issues. See, there you go. Totally censored. Got all
This
his
is the
accounts.
resistance. It's
This
gonna
is-
come.
Yeah.
Find your other homes, telegrams, rumbles. Get on the other platforms as soon as possible, please. Community, come on, come on, come on. Telegram.
Get on it.
Come on.
Get on
Thank
it.
you guys.
We're going to take
Love
you guys
you
home with
so
some
much.
Greg Arcade. We started
Oh,
the
yeah.
show with it. We'll take you home with it too. Catch you guys next time.
Well, in the words of Greg Arcade, you can fucking come and get it.
Old boy standing on the blacktop, ain't saying much, ain't gonna back up. Looks like someone done gone messed up. Gonna be blood, them boys came dressed up. Heard someone's running their mouth. I heard somebody's been spreading around rumors. Figured they'd have hushed up by now, but time's up, ain't no way out. They've been making plenty of noise, but they should've known better than mess around with them boys. You want more? You said it. We got what you want. Come and get it. You want blood? You said it. We got what you want. Come and get it. You're looking to fight. You said it. We got what you want. Come and get it. You want more? You said it. We got what you want. Come and get it. No, honey, there ain't no take backs. Gone too far, only one way back. These boys are here for payback. So pay up or you best well stay back. What you all think you did? Picking a fight with them roughnecks and rednecks. You ask me, you should've just left them all alone. But you didn't. You thought this was a game. Who the hell think you are playing? You want war? You said it. We got what you want. Come and get it. You want blood? You said it. We got what you want. Come and get it. You're looking to fight. You said it.